Nice. That's short and sweet. Welcome to the DTM experience. Yours truly, DTM. If you don't know what that means, ask me. Nonetheless, we move on. I'll be streaming on Twitch later, the usual, where I'll be playing games and stuff. Anyway, as anyone may know, or if you do not know, the DTM experience is all about one simple thing. Any and all things. There is not one thing that can be attached to me. Not one thing at all. And if there is, I detach it. I detach it from reality. I can play a game like Pokemon, I play a game like Star Citizen, I can play a game like Genshin Impact. It don't matter to me. I am not stuck on a singular game or theme. I do what I want, when I want. And most of the time that means I don't go outside a lot. And when I do, the world should thank me for my presence. Come Christmas, it's the most important thing. Presents. But that's a different topic.
Leave this. I'm going to go over its sets, go over this Pokemon's ability, moves, all that stuff. And I'm basically going to show you why this is the best mon they ever made, and nothing can compare to this thing. There are a lot of strong Pokemon, right? I made a video
I'm the best Pokemon trainer the world has never, ever seen achieve anything in Pokemon in regards to a tourney or championship. You understand? And my Pokemon are the greatest to never be the greatest in this world. Respect it. Respect my authority.
3 years ago when Generation 8 came out, and it was called Why Zacian is Better Than Mega Rayquaza. Because up until then, Mega Rayquaza was the strongest Pokemon we'd ever seen. This mon
Don't hate on my boy Mega. He my boy, he my dog, but he ain't no dog. He a dragon, you see.
was so strong that they had to make their own tier for it, right? Anything goes. Then Zacian came around. Bro could put that sword between his teeth, get +1 attack every time he came in, and he was the new big dog on the block. Literally, it was the strongest thing we'd ever seen. Zacian up to anything goes as well. Now we're in Generation 9. Miraidon is here, folks. And this guy is an absolute juggernaut of a Pokemon. Amazing design, amazing typing, amazing. Like this Pokemon, there's nothing else to say.
He's a futuristic pile of junk. But he's sexy, smooth and sleek, and most importantly, he's blue too. So I'll forgive him for all his faults.
Besides flawless. And we're going to break it down right now. So if you do enjoy these types of videos, guys, make sure you do leave a like. I'm trying to get 2K likes by tomorrow on this vid, so make sure you do that. And let me know in the comments below what you...
Not even an hour, and you're already at 5.5K. I don't think you'll find my like necessary.
think after you watch the video, and let me know what other type of discussion vids you want to see. So with that, let's get right into it. So we have Miraidon, guys. Electric Dragon type. We've seen this before on Zekrom.
Also, I don't subscribe to people with higher subscription counts than I do. I mean, I do, on occasion. But for all intents and purposes, it's satirical and comedical stuff. Take it as fact.
Except this one is going to be special oriented, unlike Zekrom is usually physical attack or mixed, whatnot. So, looking at Miraidon's stats right off the bat, we see that his stats are pretty cracked, right? 135 special attack.
135 speed. 135 special attack. 100 on its HP. Those defenses are nothing to crap at, too.
135 speed.
Damn
That's
it.
for more. That's the Flutter Mane.
Someone's gonna put my boy Rayquaza on some steroids, if you hear me. You understand, Game Freak? Don't crap the bed again.
Offensive stats. HP, defense, speed F, 100, 100, 115. This is tanky enough. Definitely, this is definitely solid. I like this defenses a lot. I mean, in Ubers, it gets the job done, right? You see Pokemon like Palkia, Dialga. I believe Palkia is the same. 90, 100, 120, right? So it's definitely not that different from 100, 100, 115. Now, when I use Miraidon, I usually go with Scarf or Specs. I find that those are where I get the most mileage out of. This thing is very strong with its moves. Electro Drift, base 100 power. Draco, 130. Volt Switch, just a good pivot move. And then for some reason, they were like,
Put
what
overheat
is
on
Electric
there.
and Draco not able to hit hard enough? You know, them steals, them grass types. Let's give bro overheat because that makes a lot of sense. So they gave this thing a perfect coverage move in overheat too, which is hilarious. So personally, I like running Scarf and Specs. I'm going to tell you exactly why. We're going to have to break down this ability, Hadron Engine.
On switch in, summons electric terrain. Special attack is boosted by 30% in electric terrain. Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? It's like a batch of 12 dozen frosted donuts. Moist, fresh, soft, frosty. So good. But so bad.
This is the most hilarious ability ever. On switching, it summons electric terrain, and then also your special attack is boosted by 30% in the electric terrain. So every time Miraidon comes in, it gets a 1.3x boost to its special attack, meaning this thing does not come in at 369 special attack. He comes in at 479 special attack, which is out of this world. When we look back at Generation 8, and we think of the strongest Pokemon we used to deal with, at least when I played OU, strongest Pokemon I would deal with is Kartana, 461 attack. Huge threat, very hard to beat on the defensive side. When you look at its moves, Leaf Blade, Knock Off.
Kartana's just the most adorable Pokemon you'd ever seen in paper form, origami style. Just adorable. But that damn thing could give you paper cuts like you've never felt before.
Smart Strike, Sacred Sword. These cap at 90 base power. Look at Miraidon. You got Electro Drift, 100 base power. God forbid it's super effective where it's 130. Draco Meteor, 130. Overheat, 130. Volt Switch, Pivot Move. This guy's moves are so damn strong. No, obviously, you want to spam all these moves. Like, these are some of the best no drawback moves you could ask for. Hadron Engine, 1.3x. Like I said, pull up with the 479 special attack, and then you have the electric terrain to boot. So when you add all those multipliers together, you know what you get? Miraidon is 1.69x stronger when using electric type moves. So it already comes in at 479 special attack. But when you add the electric terrain boost as well, it's basically like all of his electric type moves are 69% stronger, meaning Electro Drift is actually 169 power. Volt Switch, again, this shit, I don't know, what is 70 times? It's about like 120, 118, 120, like outrageously strong. And again, this is Scarf, not Specs. This is the Scarf set. You run Specs, this thing comes in and it will actually just one-hit KO everything. Max HP Arceus, for example, can get obliterated by a Parabolic Charge, a Draco, whatnot. Like this thing, it really doesn't have switch-ins for the most part. I really don't think this thing can really be defensively checked whatsoever. Max HP Arceus takes 82 to 96 from a Specs Draco. 0 HP Arceus takes 95 to 112. And this is like the gold standard of defense. You know what I mean? 120, 120, 120. This is like the gold standard. And this thing is able to OHKO Arceus with a neutral move with just a Specs boost.
Looks like the Pokemon God Arceus is shit out of luck. Like my bottle of sparkling cider, it's all gone. There's nothing left. Second place is last. If everything first is all that matters. No more than an empty bottle of cider.
You gotta understand like how ridiculously powerful it is. Nothing OHKOs Arceus with a neutral move. Nothing. Like literally nothing can do it. So to see that, like Zacian couldn't do that. Mega Rayquaza couldn't come in with the what's the word? The Flying Ascent or whatever the move is called, Dragon Ascent. It couldn't do that shit. It could not one-hit KO this mon. Now we got a neutral attack that is capable of one-hit KOing Arceus. You guys gotta understand how strong that is. Like this didn't exist before. Not to mention, I'm gonna show you one calc which is gonna blow your mind. Somebody showed me a very hilarious calc. If you were to take Miraidon and you had Specs and you turned a bro into a fire type, all right, and you had Specs and then you also had Koraidon, all right, so obviously a lot of things got to be 'Going your way. But if you had Specs, you were Terrafire, and Koraidon also got the sun up for you. You know how much overheat does to Groudon? 200.
I'm gonna need another bottle.
52 HP, 200 SpDef EV Groudon Primal, aka it resists fire. It does 70 to 83% with the resisted move. Assuming you turn into a fire type, of course. I'm just trying to help you understand this thing's damage output does not make sense. Like this mon is capable of.
Thank God Groudon's probably killing him the next turn, but for all intents and purposes, we understand where you're getting at.
Frying Chansey. Like this hasn't existed before. Not to mention that it has Volt Switch, right? So you can get out on any type of like, if Chansey wants to come in the first time, just Volt Switch. So Specs and Scarf are my two favorite sets, but I do have to give a big shout out to Calm Mind, Agility, which is something I like. I have seen people run Calm Mind Taunt too. Agility is just something I threw on there because I figured it could work. because I don't really want to run other stab moves or besides my stab moves. Parabolic Charge, 65 base power, 32 PP, and it recovers 50% of the damage dealt. This is an awesome move. This is truly an awesome move. Turns this thing into a beast. I just put Terra type Draco because we're using Pulse, but there's actually a lot of Terra types you can go with this. I saw somebody mention Fairy, and then they also had Dazzling Gleam, which I thought was sick because you're able to, you know, wall other dragons that way. And Dazzling Gleam is amazing coverage where there's so many dragons, dark types, all that shit. So, yeah, I do think this set deserves a special shout out. You can also use Boots. Like I said, Taunt, the speed is incredible. Going through Miraidon, though, if we just look at all the positive aspects of this thing, there's just too many to count, right? Dragon Electric is already two of the best offensive typings. These things are able to cover everything. Electric hits most of the steel stuff. Dragon, you know, is able to cover everything else. And then Overheat is there for random ass shit. Like, what's his name? Iron Shreds, the steel ground type, who in reality would be able to take both of these moves. No, sir. This Overheat isn't coming. This Overheat isn't coming. I also like that Miraidon can change into either of its typings as the Terraform. I think that's its best way to go. Pull off the super strong Drake, the super strong Electro. Really doesn't matter. And the one last thing I wanted to talk about Miraidon before I moved on. Because of the ability, and this is something we haven't even had a chance to really experiment with in OU, because we don't really have any good electric terrain setters. We only have Pincurchin. This thing still sets up the terrain, meaning you can run any of the Cork Drive guys with this in Ubers. Now, I think specifically the GOAT Iron Valiant is probably amazing in Ubers as a result of this, because you automatically get the +1 speed. You can run whatever item you want. How can Fairy type ever be bad in Ubers when there's so many damn dragons? So I think when Pokemon Home comes out and all the Ubers come back, Iron Valiant X Miraidon will be the core. Like, I mean, I'm sure they're already using it right now. Why wouldn't you? But I think together these two make crazy good mind games, especially because Iron Valiant can cover a lot of the weaknesses. Like, you can bring this thing in on a Draco. You can bring him in on Sucker Punch, stuff like that. I think these two together have, like, an amazing synergy. We'll probably see this core quite a bit. But, yeah, that's basically what I got to say about Miraidon. This thing, strength-wise, typing-wise, this thing does not have switch-ins, and it is the best mon in the tier right now, I think. So with that, let's talk about my boy, the dog. So for Zacian, we're going to go over two potential sets. You could run SD, and you could run 4 attack. Now, in Generation 8, they used to run Assurance because Necrozma Duskmane was mainly the best switch-in for this guy. Necrozma Duskmane does really own this thing. But we got to talk about the biggest issue with Zacian in the new generation. Intrepid Sword has been nerfed. Now, last generation, especially in VGC, we would see this. Zacian would come in and keep on getting his +1. This only works once per battle now, meaning Zacian comes in one time, gets +1, and then it has no ability for the remainder of the game. That's a big deal. On top of that, Zacian's attack stat used to be 170. He's been knocked down 20 points to 150. So this is the spread that they had on Smogon's site. I did also just put a regular max attack, max speed. But a -20 attack to Zacian is absolutely crazy. Like, that's a big amount of, like, stats to take away, right? This shit was nearing, like, 480 attack. Shit lost, like, damn near 50 points. Like, it's crazy. So they really did knock Zacian down a few pegs. I understand, too, this thing was on every team in VGC, and it was banned from Anything Goes. They're probably like, fuck, what have we done? We created a monster. Then they go on to make Miraidon. Anyway, I digress. So we look at Zacian, and I want to talk about some of the problems it has in the current metagame, right? Now, a lot of the Ubers haven't come back, but when Home comes out and all these things do come back, I'm talking Ho-Oh shit like that, Zacian has to decide what it wants to get.
Hey, mister, what you up to?
You have to run close combat because you got to figure out a way to get through steals. But then if Necrozma Duskmane comes back, how are you going to kill that shit without Assurance? Not to mention, he doesn't get +1 anymore. Zacian is going to start getting walled by Pokemon as a result of this. Like, its item is useless. Its ability is... Bro, what is he going to... Like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Bro is really screwed up. They took away 2 of his best things. Not to mention, they gave him the -20 attack. At Game Freak headquarters, I know what happened. Somebody got 6-0'd by Zacian on the ladder and said, this will never happen next generation. Let me show you what I'm cooking. And that was that. I also got to say that Zacian doesn't really support its team the way Miraidon does. Zacian supports in another way by being fast, which I totally do agree with. 148 speed is disgustingly fast. Basically faster than everything else in the meta, right? Besides like Deoxys or whatever. And Fairy Steel is also one of the absolute best defensive typings of all time. We've seen it on Mega Mawile, right? Magearna. What are those Pokemon? They're uber quality mons, just like Zacian was. Like, Fairy Steel will always be one of the best defensively. I do think, though, he sometimes has move slot syndrome. Another mon that is now going to start being able to switch into this thing, which I haven't seen in Ubers yet, is this guy. How is Zacian killing him? You're going to have Assurance? You're going to have Crunch? You got to have one of them. So then if you don't have that, what are you going to run? You're not going to run Swords Dance? But then if you don't run Wild Charge, how are you going to hit Ho-Oh? Right? Now you start seeing what I mean, right? How is Zacian supposed to get through all these Pokemon? On top of that, items fucked, abilities fucked after the first try. Bro, he has taken some blows. The Zacian clan will not forget this, Game Freak. But yeah, Zacian really got washed in the new generation. Like, they really took a lot of his toys. The minus 20 attack was just the biggest slap. Well, no, the ability nerf was the biggest slap, because it's like, no, like, you deal with the fact that you have to use the Rusted Sword item because you get a +1 attack every time you come in. The combination of the item and ability are broken. Now Game Freak said, actually, let's fuck up both. So Rusted Sword is useless after the first try. Same with Intrepid Sword. This thing's stats are still gorgeous, but again, he has completely lost his ability to support the team, even support himself. And so for that reason, I can't really recommend Zacian over a mon like Miraidon. I would even say Koraidon's better than Zacian too. But for this video, that's focused on Miraidon, because Miraidon is the strongest mon ever. This is the strongest mon ever. I truly do believe that. We're gonna see.
What is what's Quantum's reaction? Is he shedding tears?
See where the metagame goes. We're gonna
Tears
see
of War.
adapting to this, but the way I see it, I have never seen a mon this strong, and I'm very excited to see where the metagame goes. Hope y'all enjoyed. Drop a big like if you did. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know, was that
Why does Quantum have this for his face thing? Do you know? Does anyone know why? No, wait, that's a different Quantum, huh? Yeah, or is it? No, that is him. That's kind of weird.
Referring to Echo's easy. I mean, Echo's not easy.
No, that must be a different one. Yeah, it's different. It must be a different dude. Of course, it'd be TV. How many Quantums are there? That's so weird. Does he... He's not even the best Quantum. 4 hours ago, Quantum TV. Oh, there's Zero needs a coffee, as you put. He's right there. And there's Gara right there. There. So, Quantum hasn't said anything, though. Copyright disclaimer. No words, just means this is fair game. Wait, show that again. It's interesting that people have to put it on the beginning of their videos now, just to make sure. Section 107. Damn, dude.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between? Boy, oh boy, do we got a video today. And I was really thinking Quantum wasn't going to do it, but you know what? Quantum surprised me. He actually did it. He actually did put out a proper, I shouldn't say proper, but he actually put a review out of God of War, or in his meme of terms, Dad of War. So before we decide to jump into this video, I want to let everybody know that, you know, you can have your own opinions about everything. It's not a big deal, but when people challenge you on your ideas, please don't pull a Quantum. Please just have a pleasant conversation and talk about it. Get a little rowdy if you want to, but at the end of the day, we're just here to enjoy video games and laugh at stupid opinions on the internet. That's all it really is. But anyway, make sure you have yourself some snacks, a drink, because this one's going to be a bit of a long video because I'm going to be tearing it apart limb by limb and just showing that maybe he did a proper review. Who really knows? But make sure you have a snack and a drink, and let's get right into it.
Dad of War. Today I'm going to be giving you a review on it.
YouTube
Now,
staff
a lot
won't
of
uphold their
people
rules.
have kind of already picked what side of the aisle they're going to be standing on. They either like the game or really hate the game for various reasons. I'm just going to be giving my take since reviews are subjective. Take it for what it is. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree all you want. And again, you can always agree.
Boy, I really wish we kept that same energy with Elden Ring Quantum. Like,
Man, everyone sure is giving Quantum TV a lot of attention. Do you think do you think a lot of these reviewers realize that they're actually kind of propping him up? Mister, do you think they realize that? I'm starting to wonder, there's something weird going on. I know they're all, like, bringing themselves up with going after Quantum, but, like, Quantum probably benefits more than anyone else from all this.
holy cow. This is starting to look like Elden Ring 2.0. Like, I understand you want to make the comment about people just...
Because, like, everyone is, like, propping him up. Whether it's, like, they're criticizing him or not, it's like...
You know, they could disagree to agree, but we all know you're...
I like to see Quantum's numbers. I wonder if he's going up or down.
No, anybody...
Actually, I could probably check that out real quick. Let's see if he's benefiting from all this publicity. Maybe he could be hurting. Let's see. Okay, so let's look. I don't know. Just for the hell of it. A month ago, he was getting like 10K. What is he talking about? Scary deal archives. What kind of videos is he doing? LG. An unboxing of a TV did 4.3K. Another LG G2 did 5.5K. 28K unbelievable definition. Why is a comparison got 28K? Check Social Blade. What's Social Blade? His Steam Deck. He does a lot of TVs. Why does he do a lot of TVs? His TVs get more views than anything else, for the most part. One day ago, so his Dad of War has already got 4.5K views. So literally in one day, he's already doing pretty darn well. It's Twitch. Oh. Is that still Quantum right there on YouTube? So fucked up his name. He's a subscriber slash view. Okay. Let's try that again. Hey. That can't be Quantum right there, can it? It's got to be someone else. It's got 13 uploads. How many uploads? You got more than 13 uploads. What is he under? Yeah, it's like, what's up? What's up with that? What else do you go by, Quantum? What else are you going by? There you are. It's more like it. Subscribers, he's gone up 63% in the last 30 days. His views have gone up 148%. Yeah, I would very much, as much as it's helping other people to promote him, if people don't want to, like, yeah, like, all this attention is helping him. It's the Nadia effect. Nadia, the Warzone player, she's better than ever. So now everyone that's like everyone's promoting Quantum TV by covering him. Even if they're critiquing, they're actually promoting him. So they're actually doing themselves no favors. So to the Garas and all these others, if your goal is to make money off of Quantum TV, maybe I guess it's probably working out for you guys. But Quantum is going to be making even more money. More people are watching him than ever. He's getting a huge bump. That's a conundrum. She cheats legally, maybe, most of the time. I mean, she admits what she does, so in that sense, could it be counted as legal in that sense? I don't. Open cheating? I don't. But she also uses that to her advantage to publicize her. She literally goes to meet and greets, and she'll call on fans that she knows that will like get in close, like with a video of her, like when she's like promoting herself with a fan. She'll purposely have fans that'll call her a cheater, and then she'll just put them on TikTok and all that stuff, and it'll promote her. Like Nadia is very, very smart. So I guess this is like, is this like the YouTube thing to where like everyone like picks a creator they don't like, and then they just create a monopoly and work together to promote themselves while also therein promoting Quantum as well? It's like, so is this like a money? Is this like a Is this like I wanted to say like a pyramid scheme, but I don't think Quantum is working with the Garas and all these other folks.
Agrees with you. You delete the comment.
But they are like all helping
You
each
try to
other.
make yourself look like the good guy, a good stranger.
What do you think about that, mister? That this is all just like a whole, like a little circle or pyramid. You got Quantum, who's getting the most publicity out of this. You have his critiquers, who are also benefiting from publicity, not as much as Quantum per se. And the more critiquers there are, the more attention Quantum gets. The more these critiquers join together and group up together and colonize, they also benefit. This is interesting. Is this what YouTube's all about?
Quantum.
Oh man, no wonder why I'm not on the successful bandwagon.
Taking to the main menu, you can kind of see a couple different things. I mean, you have the typical
Probably overanalyzing it.
story element.
I can imagine. I do that a lot. I also don't want to do like I don't want to make it a reality. I should probably keep it to myself, actually.
options.
Every time I overthink and I state it, it becomes a reality. So I don't. So if no one's working together, and if Quantum's not working with any of these critiquers, don't work with each other because I said that you could. Please do not turn it into a monopoly because I theoretically assumed it could already be a possibility. Please don't do that. Don't do that to the YouTube community. Ignore me.
But there's nothing really unique, right?
Well, I said it on the Blade. I mean, he's like up 160 some percent in his views in the last 30 days. I guess I would have to like look it over like the whole year, I guess, but
And I think this is where these story games kind of, for a lot of people, where we heard a lot of the negativity come from, kind of play into part. Because typically when you have a game that's story driven, the only thing that matters in a story game after the story is beaten is its replayability, the replay value. This game, like many other story games, have very little replay value because it's just repetitive and it doesn't really do a whole lot to change that.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of snitch myself out right now. I have not played the game, but I have seen Scale Up's review. I have watched Ultra Slim's playthrough of God of War Ragnarok, and I've watched.
or was it? What's with the religious families beware? Black Adam is a satanic movie. What the fuck did I miss with that? Black Adam is a satanic movie? Jeez, I can't wait. Oh my god. The absence of Black Friday shoppers shocks media that got 8.4K. What do you think his average viewage is? Like, then. When did he go down? He was down in March. March, he was really down. But he's been pretty much up ever since. What happened in March? I mean, the fact that his subscribers have increased by 63%, but that would have to be compared with the year prior. And he obviously lost a lot of... He lost a lot. No. He didn't even lose viewers. He didn't even lose subscribers. He just lost viewers, like in March. So he didn't really lose anything with that in terms of subscribers. His weekly average is plus 399 subscribers. The last 30 days, he gained almost 2,000 subscribers. Really? That's just the last 30 days. How many subscribers do you have, Quantum? You have 75. I don't know how much growth that is without... He gets a B grade. Long as with the Satanism, like, he is just... he's really out there, isn't he? He really must do it on purpose, huh? Guess he's a good marketer. He's making it work, I guess. Yeah, there's the March right there. He tanked in March. It's after Black History Month, too. Oh my god. He has not been in the... Yeah. His Christian values get easily offended. You know, my family were raised on... my family were Catholics. I myself don't really have much of a religion. I mean, I'd probably be closer to the Catholic, but the way that I see it, Catholics are a lot different than your typical Christian. A lot of these Christians that come to your door or they promote their church, their pyramid schemes, a little bit different than them Catholics. Not to mention Catholics are pretty radical with their forgiving natures. But how could he be like he even suggest that he's a Christian? How could he do that? I don't understand the way that he talks. That he's negative. Like you Christians aren't supposed to have that negative nature. That he's a negative Nancy or he's a freaking Karen. Future projections. Ooh. "5 years he'll have." I wouldn't trust those projections.
Many other Let's Players, God of War Ragnarok's Let's Play through, okay? Let me tell you something. This game does have replayability, okay? I just have the feeling in the back of my head.
Let's be honest, any single player game is not going to have replayability outside of those with nostalgic tendencies or natures. Those that want to go back and play the same game they played. Not like a remastered or anything like that. Play the same game that they played and enjoyed. Otherwise, it's like Elden Ring. It's a one playthrough. Unless you're a hardcore gamer or one of the hardcore fans, and then you'll play it
Just what he did
forever
with
and ever.
that he did not explore. He didn't discover any of the side quests that actually makes the game pretty interesting, and some of them are actually just like, wow, I can't believe that happened. And I'm trying my best not to spoil it for some people. because
Spoil it.
some
Spoil
people
it. Spoil
have
it.
gone through it, but
Come on.
if you're playing a playthrough of
Come
God
on.
of
Some of
War,
us watched the entire story on YouTube already. That was a 7-hour movie, baby. That was great.
Rock right now, explore and find the side quests, guys, and trust me, you will not regret it. You'll just be enjoying yourself the whole time.
It would have been nice to see, for example, a challenge mode of some sort included in the game as a separate option in the main menu to where when you click on it like old school.
Excuse me. I remember on the stream the other day that in the chat we were talking about him. His little issues with the story. He wanted it. You know, Quantum. If God of War ever becomes a graphic novel, I can't wait for you to reveal that.
Games, there's all kinds of crazy challenges that really put your gear and your skills that you spent getting up to the test, and it just doesn't happen that way.
Nice.
Now you're bitching and complaining about challenge and difficulty. Holy shit. Holy shit. Do you even know what the words are coming out of your mouth, Quantum? Do you understand? Do you understand that you threw Elden Ring under the bus, which would gave you a challenge? And mind you, this is not even the most
I bet he wishes he could play it on easy.
difficult Souls game in the franchise. You could have multiple people were offering to help you through this game.
Weren't there others that were more difficult? I thought Elden Ring was I thought its difficulty was lowered just a little bit for casuals. Weren't there other Soul games that were more difficult?
Teach you.
The fact that Elden Ring had such a boom in popularity and a spike when it came out seems self-evident. The hardest Souls game, Reddit. The hardest to learn is Sekiro. That's from the Reddit, though. But that's where all the good shit is. Easiest Bloodborne. Wait. The hardest from the easiest Bloodborne, the old hunter, this guy suggests. What? Then Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2 as the hardest level design. Wasn't Dark Souls 2 also heavily criticized? He sent his former Discord mod anonymous too threatening voicemails. What for? This is Quantum. You are not serving your purpose correctly in the Discord, and you are excommunicated. Goodbye. Is Elden Ring the hardest? Elden Ring is a more advanced form of Souls-like. One would assume. Is Bloodborne the hardest game? Bloodborne is often touted as one of the hardest games of all time. I guess it really comes down to debate. There's not enough to really
how
pick
to
one
play it,
Souls
or
game.
even help you with the bosses. But no, what you did, you spurred the fuck out on Elden Ring because it was too difficult for you. Get the fuck out of here. You don't deserve to talk a fucking single word about difficulty.
It didn't have anything to do with racism, did it?
You fucking lolcow.
Now, this next piece I took a lot of heat for, and I really don't care.
Did you,
because
Quantum?
I still feel the same way. The pacing of the story is too slow. Simply put, they spend too many hours on screen talking to the point where a lot of people have called this a cutscene simulator.
I know what Quantum's referencing. He's referencing the video that he made a couple weeks back when he only spent like 20
It's all
minutes
fizzy.
on the opening of the game, mind you, where he's pissing and moaning. He's kind of going in and out. He's commenting on things, and he said a couple things that weren't family friendly, which I'm surprised my video didn't get demonetized when I covered that. Also, this is another red flag too, to be honest with you guys. Another red flag that just popped up when he was mentioning about this is a simulator and stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't do any of the side quests at all. He just shot through the whole story like it was nothing. That's just another red flag right there for me.
It didn't really feel like you were being dropped into this action game. It felt a lot like it was a very slow opening of a movie, and not a very good one. And it's to the point.
That was a great movie on YouTube. Those that posted the all the cutscenes that worked hard, like Game Rant and stuff like that. It was a really good movie. Like God of War. I mean, it was a really good movie. And don't let, because God of War, 2018, Ragnarok, the original God of War 3, they all maintain the same Metacritic score. So it's like different styles, different takes of the God of War franchise. And the developers are so good at making their games that they're all like 94 on Metacritic. So
Where the pacing of the story has a very
it puts things into like perspective. You'll link the voice calls after Gara on Coffee.
vibe. It goes up, down. You don't really know like what's happening until they get to certain parts of the story, and you go, okay, that's what you're here. It's just, I don't know. I didn't like the writing personally. I thought it had a lot of room for improvement.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Like I said in my previous video where you were doing
Kermit's awesome.
God of War, Quantum.
One of the greatest taglines. Yoda versus Kermit.
This is not an action game. This is an action adventure hack and slash game. Okay, even Wikipedia that I'm showing on screen right now even backs me up on this, proving that it is an action adventure hack and slash game. And mind you, for the story too, this isn't the God of War back in the 2000s, okay? This is Kratos as a father trying to protect his son, okay? This is a story about a father and a son that are trying to prevent Ragnarok from happening. Also, Quantum, you really have no room to talk. You don't even do research on this game. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about with this game. All you're doing is mumbling on, saying the repeated things that you've already said in other repeated videos that you've done, mind you. You just don't know what you're talking about. And this video proves it. It's Elden Ring all over again with this man, I swear to God.
Until the latter half of the game. Now, once you get to about midway through the game, it's pretty engaging and the action scenes are a lot more. So the cutscenes are a lot more forgivable. But in that opening scene, you know, the boy with his wolf, you know, he's crying over the wolves, but then he has to fight a wolf, and it's just all this stupid, contradictory stuff that I just, from a writing perspective, did not appreciate.
From a writing perspective, Quantum, I doubt you write anything down or even do research too. It's already proven that you don't do research.
He has to be
Hell, I
an
doubt
FI
you
user for
even
sure,
made,
right?
like, sat
No,
down
don't
and
say
wrote
he's
down
9
a book.
TP.
And I'm
Don't
just gonna
say
break
he's
down
9
the many
TP.
lies you have told, such as, for example, how about the lies that you told that you're a
Quantum
master
Leap.
calibrator, which that doesn't exist at all, mind you. A lot of people have debunked that, mind you, especially the real calibrators that have actually came out and said there is no master calibrator. I don't know what he's on, but
What is his
there's
name?
nothing that exists like that. Or how about my absolute favorite, where you told the LGBT
Why does he love TV so much? Is he really paid that much money?
community that they
Should I be promoting my TVs? Should I be unboxing TVs? Hey Samsung, give me a call.
could go endgame themselves. Remember that, Quantum?
I want my face on your box though.
Remember that whole controversy going on and stuff, and then you tried to hide your tweets? Oh, and mind you, too, you don't think I didn't check up on that Facebook post that you left? Yeah, spoiler alert, I know you deleted it.
I know, like Osman. Osman Gold. I'm not bald.
Don't even try to hide it.
More unforgivingly, though, I think is the way that the story kind of doesn't have a built-upon theme. And what I mean is, it's like, okay, so in the last game, he was a dad. We all know that he's trying.
As I said in the stream yesterday, Kratos is a father. Not only that, Kratos is a teacher. For all we know with Freya, it could be a future husband as well. But other than that, by the end of the game, he ascends to a god at peace, if not of peace, but at peace. He literally ascends to the god of gods. Would prominence be a good name? Would that be a good word?
Build his son up and all that stuff. And now they're trying to establish the opening story.
I don't know if Jesus Christ would be going too far, but essentially, Kratos essentially becomes Jesus Christ.
Again, is him being a dad. We already know that, so don't spend the first half of the game establishing the fact that he's a father. We get it. But the whole game plays on the theme that he's a father, hence the name of this review, Dad of War. Even to the final boss, it's all about your children and being a dad. Did we really need a Kratos like that?
God of War, 94 Metacritic. God of War 3, 94 Metacritic. For those that are fans of Kratos, when he was younger, much more naive, a lot more bloodlusted, those games are available to play. Excellent. Zeus has amazing dialogue in God of War 3, for example. I love some of his lines. Absolutely hysterical. Not the only good thing. And then for those that want to change in setting, it's called Progression. God of War 2018 and then Ragnarok also have 94 on Metacritic. So it goes to show you that the studio was at Monica. They are really, really good. One of the best studios, apparently. I mean, in terms of, yeah, probably just about ever. It's pretty amazing what they've been able to do. The transformation in the God of War series is incredible. Not just the gameplay, but what they've done with the lore.
How do you function?
I
Even
swear
though it was
to
already there, but
God, he just contradicted himself.
Greek,
I
Norse
believe,
mythology,
by
but
saying
still.
this game doesn't have a theme, but it does.
There's people that made games based on those that really suck. Or at least movies. Look at Marvel. Look at Marvel and what they've done to Thor. I mean, Jesus.
Have a theme, being Kratos being a dad and wanting to protect his son, and they're trying to, oh my god, Quantum, you did no research in this game. I don't even think you pay attention to this game at all. This game did not even take me long to understand what was going on and how to build up on this. This game literally spoon-fed you the fucking story, Quantum, and you just said, oh my god. Oh my god.
Maybe he had got one of his new TVs he was trying to showcase. Maybe that's why he's angry. He's not able to showcase, these TVs properly, I guess, with God of War. So he takes a big, massive crap or dump on the game. So yeah, maybe he was just promoting one of his TVs, and he just happened to be playing God of War and said, you know what? I'll just do a Mickey Mouse review on God of War Ragnarok. Plays 5 minutes. This is Dad of War to me.
Also, yes, Quantum, he wants a
Plays
family,
5 minutes.
Okay? This is the Kratos that we need. He at least deserves to have a living family because
Well, not just that, Gar, right? But it's like who didn't want to see Kratos rise above himself, above the hate of his past? He literally grew. Who doesn't love who doesn't love a story like that? Like,
you actually played.
hell, it's the American story to an extent, right then and there. Stories like these are great. It's what we need. It's what we human beings need.
Previous games, you would understand why he's doing all this. Why he's.
If anything, God of War Ragnarok is like absolutely welcome for humanity's mental health.
His son throughout the whole
Who
game.
needs a therapist?
And Quantum,
Play
if
Ragnarok.
you actually paid attention to the fucking story, you would understand.
He only
why
kills one god, right? Not very many. And he was a bully some bitch, Himdall. Like to bully kids.
Atreus is lashing out at Kratos at times, or he's fighting with his dad, because he's a teenager and he's trying to figure his way to his destiny.
Now, the art style of this game can be characterized as one thing in my personal book: a little lazy. Because if you really look at it, it just loses a lot of the high next-gen aspects that we were expecting. And to the point where you're in performance mode, there is no good reason why you can't be in performance mode at, say, 1440, 60 FPS with
I thought you were in 60.
maxed out textures and resolution. It doesn't happen here. Now, I, again, similarly receive flack from players that love the game and apologize all of its flaws away, but I'm not one of those people. For me, I really would have liked them to implement some form of a high-resolution mode that has really tack-sharp visuals. Now, of course, you can always go into performance mode, but that runs at 30 FPS, and that is a joke on next-gen consoles, so there's no point in using it if you're like me and you bought a PS5 for high frame rates.
To this, seeing how he could fix it, oh my god. Screw it, I'm playing the clip for my video. Graphics and camera section of God of War Ragnarok. Options on menu on PS5. You'll find two settings that combine to let you adjust the visuals and performance. First up is graphics mode. Either favor performance, prioritizes higher frame rates over sharper visuals, or favor resolution, prioritizes sharper visuals over a higher frame rate. The other is higher frame rate mode, which is HFR, which can be off or on. This second setting will be available only if your PS5 is connected to a display that supports 4K resolution at 124 Hz, which requires an HDMI 2.1 port. Also, I researched the TV that you have right now. It does do HDMI 2.1. So either you don't have an HDMI 2.1, or you didn't, do some research and see how you could turn on the better, and I'm quoting this right now, the better settings for your experience to play God of War.
I like Gara. I like Gara. I like it. He's very thorough on that. I don't know how he finds himself to have the mental energy to do that, but he did that.
Ragnarok. But of course, Quantum, you can't.
And of course, the TV thing. I don't know if Gara really goes into it, but I'm sure he had to have known that, since Quantum is a big TV promoter, like really hitting home right there.
Wait for the PC port so it has better resolution and everything. No, no, no. You gotta go buy this game now. You gotta make a crappy little video, get it out there, get them hate clicks.
Which kind of goes into the next thing. The higher the frame rates, the
Get them hate clicks. So Gara, you're pretty much openly saying he does this shit purpose too. So Gara and I have agreements that he does and says his shit on purpose.
worse the videos get. That's just how the game plays. And I think for me,
And it's working for his channel too. He's more successful than ever.
when you combine that in with the dated mechanics, it gets to be really lazy because it runs exactly like the last game from the way you move, you swing your axe, it's a copy and paste.
Copy and paste, huh, Quantum? This is the problem with you, and it still is to this day. You did zero research on this. I actually go to YouTube right now, type in God of War, Ragnarok, combos and stuff, and I found some pretty fucking cool videos. Especially this little video I'm going to play real quickly. Credit to where credit's due. I'm going to link this video in the description so you guys can go see this video for yourself.
Of all the critiquers that you've shown, mister, I think I like Gara the best. I think he'd be my I think he's my favorite.
But I'm going to go ahead and play it here just to prove Quantum wrong. So Quantum, next time, let's do a better job of understanding the game and doing combos too. Like, there's plenty of videos out there that shows you how to do the combos, but, Quantum hates doing research.
I would have really loved to see some more of the fluid gameplay come back that we saw in the older games. I loved how the Chaos Blades and Blades of Chaos were just more swingy.
I'm sorry.
In the older
I really
games,
am
the
100%
fast
allergic to
are
bullshit.
A little bit more sticky, especially when you hold the right bumper to pull off that combo. It never really feels smooth.
It
feels
looks
very
it looks very smooth. Everyone I've talked to about it, it looks very smooth just from right there. Look how smooth that
Now,
looks.
generally, when you're swinging the blades around, you can have a good time, and they feel okay. They feel responsive enough, but it never really feels quite as good, in my opinion, as it did on the older games. And I think building upon that and building, like, let's say, actual combos would have been really cool. To now there's a challenge to pull off this new combo, not necessarily making it like a fighting game, but giving those more advanced players options to move in the direction of more advanced gameplay versus what feels to be kind of just a copy and paste of the last game.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I'm not going to show any more of the footage from So, but you guys seriously need to go click on that link to that guy's video. So, he did an awesome job with God of War Ragnarok, the combos and stuff. Holy shit. The combos this dude pulled off with Kratos is insane. It's absolutely insane, and I suggest you, please go click on it, because what Quantum's saying right now is absolute bullshit. Also, Quantum, again, you just rushed through the game. You didn't sit down, give the time to the game to understand the combos that you could do, how you could juggle opponents into the ground, how you can just like go in straight Spartan mode, or I think it's rage mode, I'm not too sure, and attack your enemies and execute them, okay? You put no effort into this. You put the below minimum effort into this. And it shows throughout this whole video. And I swear to God, if he brings up like the Game of the Year and Elden Ring in this video, I'm going to lose it, guys. I'm going to fucking lose it.
Who does Quantum TV want for Game of the Year? Do you know, mister? Excuse me. We all know who I'm going for. I'm biased as fudge. Like fudge chocolate, like the most delicious fudge chocolate ever. Excuse me.
Players, though, will be happy to know that this game is really easy to pick up. It's not terribly difficult. If you click give me a story, they'll give you a story. The only downside that I find is like early on in the game, they don't really give you a waypoint. So like in the opening scene where you're like at the house, I did spend a little bit of time running around and I got a couple of locations wrong as to where I could go, but the game isn't so challenging or so vast that you can't figure out where you need to go if you get turned around. I do wish there was always a waypoint for people who wanted one, but again, for the exploration types, it gives you a little bit of that in the opening.
You know, him just mentioning that right now reminds me of an Elden Ring meme. That I remember the Ubisoft employees were getting all bitchy and crybaby about how Elden Ring's UI and what it does just makes them so upset and they can't figure it out. Like, for the love of God, can you people just go out and explore and have fun instead of having everything spoon-fed to you? Like, holy shit, what is wrong with these people?
I don't know, but as a Legend of Zelda fan and Breath of the Wild, when you were just basically left to do whatever you needed, like an Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild have can be very similar in that to that extent, where you just left to do whatever you want, fully open world, do whatever the hell you want. I mean, it makes sense to me. There's not a problem there. Excuse me.
Why can we not have a game
more
like
fun for a
Elden
lot of
Ring to
people.
enjoy, or like
In fact, it makes it more broadly casual if it's open world and you're not restricted. Like, you could literally go from any area you want, go through the story any way you want. That's casuals love that shit. Crap.
God of War 2.
Try not to
that
say
we don't
shit
need
these
fucking
days.
hints all the damn time telling us where to go.
Excuse
I
me.
fucking love Elden Ring to the point where you can go out and explore and do whatever you want, kill the bosses, well, I should say end game the bosses as in any order that you would like.
I think this is a good game. It's honestly, frankly, probably the best game of 2022 so far. Now, that's not a compliment because we haven't had really good games this year. We just haven't. But this is absolutely the game of the year this year, despite what some people think about Elden Ring.
I'll get to his little comment about, no good games came out in 2022 besides God of War Ragnarok. I'm going to ask you guys to do something. I'm not going to tell you to, fluctuate the votes towards Elden Ring. No. What I want you to do to your God-given right is that I want you to go
Tunic
to
all the way,
awards,
baby.
and I want you to
Tunic
vote
all the
for
way.
games that you believe that deserve to be the game of the year. Okay? If God of War Ragnarok wins game of the year, it's deserved. I'm going to say it right now. It is a really good fucking game. But if Elden Ring wins, there's going to be
I think a lot of people want Elden Ring to win just so they could, just for the drama purposes. Excuse me.
going to be a pissed off Quantum, and that'll be really funny. But ultimately, at the Game Awards, when it happens, well, before it happens, I want you guys to go vote. Vote what you guys believe that would be Game of the Year. Doesn't matter if it would be Vampire Survivors, Sonic Frontiers.
I think I was nice. I think I popped a vote for best narrative for Elden Ring. But you gotta know God of War, baby. That was no need to think about that one.
Elden Ring.
Excuse me.
Go vote. Go do your God-given right, and go do that for real quickly for me, and for yourself. And as for Quantum's little comment about there's no good games that came out in 2022, here, Quantum, since I don't have tunnel vision and I can only see one thing at a time, here's the list of games that I personally think that went above and beyond, that deserve at least a pedestal for 2022. Sonic Frontiers, Lego Star Wars,
Excuse me. I like how you said that. Unless it doesn't involve TVs, or unless it involves TVs, Quantum won't care.
Evil West, Cult of the Lamb, Sifu, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Gundam Evolution, I fucking love.
There's no way that I would vote for. Like, I didn't play Pokemon Arceus, but there's no way. There's no way. Game Freak ain't ready. Oh no. Game Freak ain't. I saw Arceus as an option. I said, no. Why is this even here? Game Freak won't be ready for 10 years, probably. They still don't even have voice lines. They still don't even have voiceovers yet. Dude. That was a joke.
I love it. I love playing multiplayer on that game. Vampire Survivor. Ben, I'm going to tell you guys right now. You want to know a game that just recently came out on well, it hasn't recently came out, but it came out of early access, and the game still slaps to this day, and it still got me hooked on it. Vampire Survivors. If you get the chance to get this game, buy it. If you got it on Game Pass, download it, try it out. I'm telling you right now, the game hits different. I'm going to tell you that right now. Stray is a pretty damn good game. Tunic is like Tunic is a pretty fun game to get.
I think Tunic was available in the Game Gear. I looked at that, I'm like, Tunic, really? I mean, damn, man, it was.
Like if you like Legends of Zelda,
I still haven't finished Tunic. I actually have some playthroughs of quite a few playthroughs I never published on YouTube, just sitting on my SSD card. And I didn't finish the game.
but if you want to like as a little fun, yeah, that's pretty much how you explain the game.
Excuse me.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land was a pretty damn good game, and I enjoyed it. Splatoon 3, I really thought I would never, ever play a Splatoon game, but Splatoon 3 was actually really fun. Now here's one that's gonna blow your guys' mind. Modern Warfare. What is wrong with
Two,
me?
yeah.
MW2 basically. Holy shit. Holy
No.
shit. You want to talk about, I went on hiatus on Call of Duty games 4 years, and then I come back to this game? Holy shit, it just hit right. Neon White was actually a pretty decent game to play and stuff, and I wish I could review these games too. Well, I mean, I wish I had enough time to review these games, but I really don't.
Right? You have a full-time job too?
But the one game that kind of like came out of nowhere and kind of sidelined me was TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Holy shit. I remember playing that game with my friends, and we were just beating up the foot ninjas and stuff. That game was fucking fun, and I suggest you guys to pick it up. And I think I did say Cult of the Lamb earlier. That one is a different type of breed of game, I'm going to tell you. So all these games, I really do suggest y'all to pick up these games and enjoy them. And you know what? In the comment section, throw some games at me too. Oh, and for the people that think I'm just picking on Quantum, that he actually put time and effort into this game and he didn't tunnel vision this fucking game. Well, here's a little comment from his comment section saying that he kind of did. Oh, and I'm just going to say this real quickly. I hope Elden Ring wins Game of the Year just to piss off Quantum. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed the content, please leave a like and comment in the comment section. I always like talking to you guys. It's always a fun time. And hey, if you want more of this content, hit that big red subscribe button. And
Where is it? Oh, retracted.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Zero. Welcome back to the channel. And before you ask, yes, this is real. This is not clickbait. Quantum TV actually made a review of God of War Ragnarok, and we can already tell by the name that this is going to get pretty interesting. Now, before I even start reacting to this review, there's a few things that I have to explain. Now, the thing about Quantum TV is he's pretty known for going after people who don't really share his views and react to his reviews negative. as shown with the whole controversy he got into with the Act Man. And he'll even send false copyright strikes and false copyright claims to your videos. And I've had some interactions with this guy in the past where he wasn't really the most professional.
Still haven't forgiven Russia for striking one of my videos.
I'll say. So because of that, I'm going to have to take some extra precautions with this video. So I'm not actually going to be showing his video. I'm just going to be showing the audio from his video over top of gameplay. And that means since I changed the content and am adding my own criticisms to it, it falls under fair use guidelines and can't be copyright striked. So yeah.
So everyone's just posting this on their thing.
Lines and can't be copyright striked. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that. You can go check out the video if you want, but I'm just going to be showing the audio from the video over top of some gameplay. I might even like pitch the audio down, I'm not sure. Also, this video is going to have a lot of spoilers in it. If you haven't played God of War Ragnarok, go ahead and play it. I just beat the game this morning, and I gotta say it's really good. I definitely recommend it. And if you have an Xbox or a Switch and can't
5
play it,
hours ago,
check out a video like this. Just like experience the game before you check out this video. As always, hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy, and let's check out this review.
Now, a lot of people have kind of already picked what side of the aisle they're going to be standing on. They either like the game or really hate the game for various reasons. I'm just going to be giving my take since reviews are subjective. Take it for what it is. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree all you want. And again, you can always agree. But
I know the review is going to be bad when the person giving the review isn't even really that confident in what they're about to say. He's just so wishy-washy about it. He's like, yeah, well, I know everybody kind of took their stance on whether they like the game or not, and like, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to, but like, I'd like it if you did, but like, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to.
so if we look at the box art, it's kind of like meh. There's not like a whole lot of crazy graphics going around, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little old school, but I like back in the day when they used to do that cool little thing, how they used to kind of put little cutscenes to show you what the game would be like, certain aspects of gameplay that they're highlighting. I wish they would have done that. Most games don't do that nowadays, so I guess we'll let that one go.
Dude, what? He's mad about the back of the fucking case? Out of everything about the game that he could nitpick, he nitpicks the back of the fucking box? Because it doesn't show screenshots of the gameplay like cases used to 20 years ago? And when you think about it, like, okay, fine, that's understandable. I can understand not really liking the case of the game, but he talks about it like that actually impacts the video game itself. Like, well, I'll just have to let that one slide. Like, bro, it's not even the game. God of War Ragnarok could be wrapped in a wet paper napkin and it would still be Game of the Year. It doesn't matter what kind of case it's in.
The install size for God of War is basically 84 gigs if you're on PlayStation 5 and well over 100 if you're on PS4. Now, this is, again, in line with what we've seen, so we can't really be too critical here. Games are just going to be really large, so you're going to have to invest in storage. Though, I will say it is annoying to see that the game is this big and the graphical improvements aren't really kind of in line with the game of this size. More on that later.
So his complaint is that there should have been more graphical improvements for the file size being larger. There is. What are you talking about? The game looks like 10 times better. Like, even look at the details on his skin and on the fabric. It looks way better. There were a ton of graphical improvements made. Look at Mimir. Look at Mimir from 2018 and look at him from God of War Ragnarok. Huge difference.
Taking to the main menu, you can kind of see a couple different things. I mean, you have the typical story elements and options, but there's nothing really unique, right? And I think this—
Did this dude just say there's no unique settings options? Unique settings options? I don't even know what to say, dude. Oh my.
This game, like many other story games, have very little replay value because it's just repetitive and it doesn't really do a whole lot to change that.
Honestly, this game doesn't have very good replay value because it's just like the same. It's as if you're replaying it again. It's just the same thing.
Only in terms of the single player aspect.
Last time. So there's no replay value. There's no. So fucking stupid. Honestly, this game doesn't have very good replay value because it's just the same as it was last time. It's as if I'm replaying the same fucking video game a second time. It's just like the same game. so it doesn't have a lot of replay value.
It just does not have that replayability because it doesn't have chapters. I don't know how many games that are story driven they like to make where it's just a one playthrough and then you restart all over again.
Yeah, man, it just doesn't have that replay value. It's just like I play through the game and then it's the same thing again when I play it a second time.
I think that kind of defeats the purpose, especially in a game plus mode, for example. I feel like, so you're already acknowledging I beat the game, I've already got all my stats, I've already got all my gear. Let me pick what chapter and what part of the game I want to play.
This dude just wants to be able to skip to the end of the fucking game.
Details,
in New Game
statistics.
Plus? Is that what he's asking for right now?
More unforgivingly, though, I think is the way that the story kind of doesn't have a built upon theme. And what I mean is like, okay, so in the last game, he was a dad. We all know that he's trying to build his son up and all that stuff. And now they're trying to establish the opening story again as him being a dad. We already
Only
know that,
96
so don't
bucks.
spend the first half of the game establishing the fact that he's a father.
So your complaint was the fact that the game didn't have a theme, and then you just said what the theme was. So it's not that there's no theme, there is one, you just don't like it.
We get it. But the whole game plays on the theme that he's a father, hence the name of this review, Dad of War. Even to the final boss, it's all about your children and being a dad. Did we really need a Kratos like that? I don't think we did.
Yeah, that's the theme of the game. It's a father and son story. And it's fine to not like the theme, you just can't completely disregard it and say it doesn't exist as a complaint.
The art style of this game can be characterized as one thing in my personal book. A little lazy.
A little lazy. Yeah, so this is lazy? This right here is lazy? What about this one? Is that lazy? Well, what's really lazy about it? What about this one? Or this one? I don't really think that's lazy.
Because if you really look at it, it just loses a lot of the high next-gen aspects that we were expecting. And to the point where you're in performance mode. There is no good reason why you can't be in performance mode at, say, 1440, 60 FPS with maxed out textures and resolution. It doesn't happen here.
What does the performance of the game have to do with the art style?
Now, I, again, similarly receive flack from players that love the game and apologize all of its flaws away, but I'm not one of those people. For me, I really would have liked them to implement some form of a high-resolution mode that has really tack-sharp visuals.
They did. It's called performance.
Makes a nice
mode.
income there.
They're literally... What are you talking about?
Now, of course, you can always go into performance mode, but that runs at 30 FPS, and that is a joke on next-gen consoles.
No it doesn't. It runs at 30 FPS on quality mode. On performance mode, it runs at 60 frames per second. What the fuck are you talking about?
It runs exactly like the last game from the way you move, you swing your axe, it's a copy and paste. I would have really loved to see some more of the fluid gameplay come back that we saw in the older games.
It's a sequel to the last game. Of course, Kratos is gonna
I
have
wish
the
I could see
same
the year.
weapons, and of course, he's gonna attack the same way. They even added a third new weapon, the spear. There's a lot more that was added here, and it's a sequel. It's going to be built on the attacks and moves of the last game.
Now, you'll also be proud to know that despite people being really angry about Angrboda being a black girl, there are
No one is mad that Angrboda is a
Yeah,
black
no
girl.
one that I know
No
of
one
is
is
mad
upset
about that.
People were just pointing out that it is a little bit weird
Yearly
how
estimate, he's
Marvel
made
and a
almost
black person
$50,000
in
potentially.
ancient Norway and like ancient Norse mythology. It doesn't really make any sense. But nobody was mad that there's a black person in their video game. The player base isn't angry because there's a black girl in their game.
Now, I think we have to look at it realistically and say, like, how often are we going to play this game? That kind of determines if a game is worth anything in my book. And I think this is a good game. It's honestly, frankly, probably the best game of 2022 so far.
Because he hates Elden Ring. You get it? Because he hates Elden Ring. That's fucking hilarious.
Compliment, because we haven't had really good games this year. We just haven't.
Especially Elden Ring. That game was so bad. That was the worst game ever.
Now, again, realistically, how often would you play it? That's where we have a little bit
Those
of
are the
problem, because we don't
voicemails?
have chapters, so you can pick your favorite parts of the story to say, you know what? I like this chapter because all the action was in this scene. If they would have done that like we see in some Tomb Raider games, or even some other games, I think that would be more ideal than...
No story-based video game is going to let someone playing for the very first time skip all the way to the end of the game because there's action in it.
Dude, man, so this year alone has made almost like half his fortune just within the last year.
Stupid. So I kind of wanted to just point out the flaws with it. Before I go, thank you guys so much for the support on the channel recently. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'll leave a link to my Twitter account in the pinned comment. I'm trying to grow that account to, I don't know, like 1,000.
Yeah, man, these guys are making him more money. Like, literally, these guys are making him more money, and he's making them more money. Or he's finally making them some money. Oh, man. It's actually kind of sad.
I gotta tell you, it takes a lot in life to get me really angry at somebody, but you've kind of taken the cake with that. You sit here constantly running to people who you know have gone after my family, and you talk shit with them, and you celebrate all this same bullshit. At one point, you even had the audacity to say I'm a visitor on my own fucking Discord, which you were a guest. The only reason you were even a moderator is because you were backed behind my fucking name, okay? Don't know where you get this fucking confidence from to start running your goddamn mouth as if you were a hotshot when you were literally fucking nothing, and still are, quite fucking frankly. And all the shit, I was nice because you would be helpful. I'd give you hundreds of fucking dollars. You had no problem taking my fucking money, right? But you have all the problem keeping your goddamn fucking mouth shut when it's about things, again, with people who literally have attacked and gone after reputations and family members and all that shit. And you know what's so funny? When the heat is on you, if it was on your family, I defended you. I protected you from these same fucking people. I told you to button your shit up. I tried to help you the fuck out. And here you are trying to go after every single fucking thing that you possibly can because you're pissed off over a Discord. You're a little bitch. You're a snake in the grass. And you're a son of a bitch that deserves every negative fucking thing you get in life. And I hope the absolute worst for you. And the fact that you sat up there trying to pretend like your family was in fucking danger of all fucking things, as if I've ever come at you like that, you piece of fucking goddamn shit. I hope God gives you karma, the likes of which you've never fucking experienced. Because this is who you really fucking are. And I just had to unblock your sorry fucking ass to let you know you aren't shit. You will never be shit. And all this fucking petty girl bullshit that you're doing, sending more people to harass me and my family because you get involved in like, oh, Anonymous exposed you, because you can't just go do your family life like you say you're doing. You've got a lot of fucking time on your hands for a grown man that apparently has so much going for him, that apparently cares a lot about his family. You seem to have a lot to say about me, even though you've only known me for a fucking year. Don't forget your place, bro. You ain't shit in my life, and you have never been shit in my life. Don't act like we were homeboys. Don't act like we were best friends. You were a fucking moderator that I kept at arm's fucking length. Don't forget that, bitch.
It's got potential. He's got potential for meet and greets.
Yo, listen, dude. I don't know what your problem
And that one thing where you roast people and get paid for lots of money, whatever it was, for like, you know, birthdays and shit like that.
is, where you're going around sharing emails, or not emails, but voicemails. But the thing is, it's like, you know, when you came up as a conversation and people started harassing me by sending me your personal name, your full legal name, your children, where you work, where you live, all this very personal information that they would not have gotten if they weren't fucking hacking and stalking. The same people that came from Gara of the Rage, Review Tech USA, Minxie, all these people you're running to like the fucking idiot you are, they are using you because you are attached to Quantum TV. Let me be very clear.
He is right on that, though. He is very much right on that.
If you both are listening to this right now, okay? The only reason anyone gives a fuck about
I just don't know the context of this conversation, the modder, and what's going on in his end. That's the only thing I don't know.
Because of Quantum TV. If you weren't a moderator, they would not have given two shits about you. And when this blows over, they're going to be on to the next fucking target. Meanwhile, you're the
He's probably right about that, too.
stupidest person on earth because you literally pretend like I paid you hundreds of dollars when I gave you gift cards from Amazon. I never paid you to manage my brand. That's fucking slander, okay? All day, every day, because you've never managed a successful brand in your life. You think me, after I built my shit up, I've already got over, what, 70,000 subscribers, you fucking come in and you think, what? I'm going to come to you for advice? Who the fuck are you? You've never built anything. And you're acting like you're entitled to some shit that you weren't entitled to. You were
Interesting.
just a moderator. And this like sour energy, this bitch-made energy you got because you don't get to say what happens in my brand is exactly why I keep people at an arm's length and I don't trust anyone because I can't trust anyone. Had I given you actual information about my life, you would have had no problem plastering it all over all these people's pages. And now I actually have a sigh of relief because of this, because as you start to run your fucking mouth, I knew I kept you at arm's length. So when they ask you very detailed questions about 2018, they ask you about my personal life, all you people can do is speculate. And that's all that will fucking happen. It's none of your business. You are nobody to be life auditing anyone. And all you do is going to turn up at incomplete data, wrong, false, or total speculation. Because that's all you can fucking do is grasp at fucking thin air. But let me tell you this. If both of you are listening, I never did anything to you or your family to warrant this result in kicking you out of a Discord because you had the audacity to post an Elden Ring, anything Elden Ring, after we as moderators in a community of like 10 of us agreed that we weren't going to post anything Elden Ring. And then you fucking post a screenshot.
Elden Ring is actually kind of toxic at this point. So having any discussion over Elden Ring is kind of hard to do without some form of toxicity.
And act like woe is me and you don't fucking
That
know
being
what you're
said, I don't know what the conversations were going on in the Discord, so I can't make 100% judgment on that.
doing. Bitch, don't play with me, bro. You knew exactly what the fuck you
Bitch, don't play with me, bro.
did, and that's what got you kicked out, okay? And you want to sit here and you want to play and twist that shit now that you got in with the mob that has been trying to cancel me and your fucking family, you dumbass? Go right the fuck ahead. You can try to have my fucking voicemail spread all across the
So
internet,
he is a TE user, isn't he?
but spread this one too, bitch. Let everybody fucking know that I looked out for you, and let everybody know that I paid you in gift cards, not fucking money. I never came to you about my brand. Let everybody know that you were there calling Matt a tranny, laughing your fucking ass off, harassing him, where I never said a fucking word about that shit. That was all you. And everybody's giving you a free pass to cancel me. If it wasn't for me, you would have zero fucking relevance. Don't forget it, bro.
Probably true. One way or another, it's probably true. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Is this the moderator? But was anonymous the one that he was talking to? Gotcha.
Skip it up and down up. Hello everybody, Rich from the future here, giving you a little introduction to this video. So many of you may be wondering who Anonymous 007 is. He was, for a while, Quantum TV's right-hand man. He helped him with his Discord. He did other things for him behind the scenes in regards to his channel. And he was pretty faithful to Quantum TV in terms of being a mod for him and things like that. But even Anonymous 007 got fed up with Quantum's.
I need more information to know that. But it seems like in Quantum's mind, this moderator was feeding him information to a lot of these content creators that are being critical to him. So if that's even close to being true, then obviously the moderator is not 100% a victim of all this, but I need to know more information. And I still can't, like, I need more information.
In this interview, Anonymous 007 told us everything that we already knew, and it essentially confirmed what we knew about Quantum TV. I thought this interview was
crap
to put on this channel.
You mean just in general, or just via the voicemails?
Because Quantum TV is bad for not just the AV community, but bad for YouTube as a whole. YouTube can make whatever choices they want to with Quantum TV. That's not what I'm going for.
The worst thing that Quantum does is when he tries to cancel people. That's like unanimous.
here, but this was one of Quantum's closest.
Which is interesting because he's doing it to try to protect his brand, but he's also he's gaining more notoriety, more views. He's making more money because of the content creators that are critiquing him. So they're making him more money in that regard. So it's a weird thing to do,
People on the internet
to cancel your publicity.
telling you that everything we knew already is true. And I think that's something very interesting and very important that everyone needs to see.
Even before the
Anyway,
voicemails.
I'll shut up now. Here is the interview that I had with Anonymous 007 on my secondary channel.
007, that's always
There will
that's
be a link
nice.
to that
That's a nice
below in the
touch.
description. And make sure you check out Anonymous's Discord. He has his own Discord where he talks about AV, talks about tech. If you want to check that out as well, I'll have a link to that below also. Enjoy the interview.
Hello.
Hey!
So he isn't necessarily some small moderator out there. So he's
What's up, man?
Hey. How you doing, Rich? Nice to finally talk with you.
Nice to finally talk with you. You are the last person I ever expected to talk to on the planet. Like, just thinking back even like a few months ago, I never thought I'd be having this conversation with you.
Well, you probably weren't the only one. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't think Gara or anybody, Chris the Narc, I don't think anybody thought you'd be coming through and talking to us. So, welcome on. This is Anonymous 007. For those of you who don't know, he was... I'm just describing you as this because it's the shortest way to do it. Anonymous is, or not Quantum's right-hand man, quote unquote.
within an arm's length.
And he defected because he even had enough of Quantum.
Absolutely.
So
Did he defect before or after he was blocked?
I know
Or
you
banned.
went over some of this with Gara, but some people here I'm sure don't know. How the hell did you meet Quantum? When did it start?
So it all started about a year and a half ago. I was in the TVs and stuff, and I was looking for somebody for TV settings, quite honestly.
Interesting. Go to the TV, man.
And I ran across him. And I commented on one of his videos, and he commented back, and we had a back and forth. After a while, though,
Held him accountable, huh?
we had some other people trying to keep with the conversations, and they were like, hey, one guy mentioned, why don't you guys start a Discord? Because it's kind of hard to track all these comments back and forth between multiple videos, and, you know, it gets a real mess down there. And I was fairly new to Discord, and Quantum had never used it, and he's like, I have no experience, so I volunteered to do it. And so from the very get-go, you know, he originally had started the Discord and immediately brought me in to help him run it. And that's exactly what happened. And so that's how I originally met him. And at the time, it was all about TVs. It wasn't about all this other shit and drama that wound up getting caught up in the whirlwind with the statements that he said. And, you know, when I met him, I had no idea the things he had said previously that came to light later. And, you know, when those things were coming up at the time, you think if you're kind of on the inside that you're getting more of the truth than anybody else. So in a way, he shined all of us on that were closest to him. Because I thought, well, hey, I got the guy right here. I could ask him, or he could, he'd tell me his side, his version of the story. And for a long time, I went along with it. One out of, you know, I became friends with the guy. We had a good dialogue back and forth, but ultimately, I started noticing there was a lot of holes in his story. He'd give explanations, and then, you know, I'd watch other shows and stuff. I'd watched your show a few times, Rich, and a lot of you guys were making some good points. And I was like, yeah, a lot of this does not add up. And but, you know, to a certain extent, you almost kind of, when you're in the thick of things with anybody, you kind of take the person's side on that you're on in a way.
I would like to hear some examples of some of the things that were pointed out that didn't, or that poked some holes into Quantum TV's one of his TVs.
It's like rooting for a football team. You know, they might be down, but you're still gonna push for them. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, I was in that camp,
But
and
when he said, like, with this whole Twitter being hacked, like everyone knew that was a pile of crap. What was he telling
I'm
you
surprised Review didn't call on him for like a couple examples.
about that? When he had up where he wanted to see people shot, and it was on his own Twitter account because I linked to it in real time on a stream. It wasn't that
Yeah,
it was
I
a
saw
screen.
that.
What did he say? What was his excuse for that? Because his weak sauce, because I know you know this, was, oh, I was hacked. Those were up years ago. Which that doesn't even make sense, because if I got access back to my account and someone was writing that shit, I would try to immediately take it down. What did he tell you about that?
So what he told us about that, and what he told me personally was, oh, I had another
Well, you know,
moderator
most people, once they're caught in something like that, they just apologize and try to move on.
back in the day, back before I met you, and he was
Normal
helping me with my
folk.
Twitter. However, like you said, okay, so I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, that's plausible. Sure, it could happen. And then, like you guys were saying, well, shit, if he got his Twitter back, why didn't he go back and delete that shit? And, I asked him about that, and he says, oh, I was dealing with a bunch of stuff that got hacked, my PlayStation, this, that, and the other. And the most important thing to me at the time was my PlayStation, because that had, credit card information that I had tied through my PlayStation, which, I didn't have it through my Twitter. So his excuse was, I forgot, essentially.
Yeah, dude. Look, I actually got hacked once. I remember it was in 2016 by some group, and all they wanted to do was show me, oh, look how easy it is to hack your Twitter. You know, the first thing I did when I got my Twitter account back, I told people I was hacked, and I said I deleted the, like, that is the other thing too. You have someone writing heinous shit up there like that. That's quote unquote not you. We know it was.
Yeah, in one sense, he was saying he got hacked, and in the other sense, he was saying he forgot about it. And I was like, but you didn't forget about it. People brought it up to you at that point. Why didn't you go back and get rid of that shit? And he never had a reason.
And the thing that's even better than that, if those are all lies, he could have easily went to YouTube and said, this guy's lying about me. He could have I wouldn't have lied about it. He knows that, but he could have gotten my channel shut down.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know what I mean? So obviously, all that adding up together, it's obviously not a lie. And he's continued to say stuff, like he said recently in the Discord, which is now nuked, by the way, that a woman who walked into Planned Parenthood, he wanted to see them get shot. Did you see?
He did say that.
Yep.
Yep. No, everything that came out on the screenshots that were shared from, Gara had quite a few, others had some. And I can verify it, because I've looked at them, I've read them, I've seen them. Every one that I've seen that came out of the QTV Discord are 100% true. Those are not doctored anyway. I seen them. Some of them were deleted pretty quickly. Some were deleted after they were shared, and some remained up. But every one of those that you saw, that and as it got further and further into it, I realized, wow, this guy actually believes that shit. And something I wanted to really address and make.
So he's going to just walk up to the first woman he says sees walk into Planned Parenthood and just gun her down.
Clear, because I've been.
Is it satirical? Is it morbid humor, or is he being serious though?
Accuse myself of sharing those same views, and I just want.
It's the Kanye West thing. It's like no one asked Kanye West why he was tweeting racial things. No one asked why. They're more concerned with the fact that he put them up. Less so than, again, the reason behind it.
Everybody know
that's a censor issue.
That I completely disavow everything that he has said negatively about the LGBTQ community. I do not feel that way. I'm the type of guy,
Actually, it's
You
probably more of a TEFI thing,
live
honestly.
your life. I don't care what you do. It doesn't affect me.
He was
So
being
you live your
serious.
life the way you want. Whatever makes you happy, hey, that's cool with me.
Have you ever seen him go off on like those weird conspiracies? Like,
Why would someone that is almost making is making probably more than $50,000, because I'm sure he's got, more. It's more. That's just what his YouTube is making. Why would someone with that much money gun down a lady at Planned Parenthood? That's the thing. Honestly, it's like clickbait, really. It's like, is he going to be um the John Wilkes Booth to a simple lady that walks into Planned Parenthood? Is he going to be John Wilkes Booth walking up to this a gal and taking her out?
with Stop the FOMO in the Discord, has he ever gone on in a DM with you and talked about it?
Yeah, no, he's went off. I mean, he was obviously the big controversy with FOMO. For those that didn't know, he had made a post saying FOMO was a Satanist because he was doing a TV review and he was going over for like a background something to show on the TV. He was going over Lucifer, the show that was on, I believe it was Netflix, and everybody was saying,
A really good series. I enjoy Lucifer.
and Quantum was saying, oh, well, obviously he put up Lucifer because he's a devil worshiper. I mean, anything he can use to go against anybody that doesn't go
He can call me a devil worshiper. I won't take much offense to it.
with him, which is virtually everybody, but everybody that goes against him, he does the most petty shit. I mean, in a lot of ways, he's like a child, and that's how you would think a child would react to something, is they would talk that sort of shit. So
Well, my thing that baffled me, and I was wondering if he ever said to you how he justified it, is that you used anything of Quantum if it was in a negative light. He would instantly decry copyright, but he would have tons of clips of like HDTV test, and I don't know about Stop the FOMO, but he had a playlist of HDTV test. Did he ever explain why he thought that was okay? But on the flip side, if anyone used any of his likeness, he would try to shut them down.
Which again, I don't get, because it gives him publicity
no, he was a hypocrite.
and has made him much more money than
He would
otherwise
not,
probably
he
would
would
have.
not address things in any light that was negative to him. So like, so in the Discords, for people that don't know, you have a private chat where you can talk with just the moderators and people that's in this chat room that the regular members don't get to see. And so like behind the scenes between that and then actual private direct messages between me and him, I've asked him, other moderators in there with him had asked him, and he would not. He would just wouldn't entertain it. He'd either just straight out say, "Oh, it was a hack. It was fake." He just was always making up some sort of excuse, but he was always a hypocrite in that he would see things one way. So, like you said, making strikes and stuff. Oh, you can't use any of my stuff. However, if it was in a good light, he didn't give a shit if you used his character.
Well, he's obviously a TE user, so reputation is very important to him. So that's where that comes from.
And said stuff. So it was very one-sided. It was pretty much Quantum's rules of how to run his YouTube. And
well,
yeah,
it always struck me funny when I apologize to cut you off. What was funny was you know how I knew he was talking out of his ass, making it like he was a copyright know-it-all, is he thought that if you were a YouTube premium member, you had the right to use other people's footage.
I saw that. I'm a YouTube premium member myself, and you can save people's videos and stuff, but if that person that has the video decides, I need to get rid of this, delete it, hide it, whatever, I lose all access to that video too. So it's kind of bullshit that he thinks that it's illegal to download those videos. I have hundreds of them.
Now, he just took down his controversial truth channel. which
Right.
is actually a really, and didn't he just nuke the Discord too as well?
Yeah, so he did two things. The controversy channel came first. It was roughly a week ago or so. Um, I think a lot of it had to do. So I told him, when everything started going down between me and him, as I've mentioned previously on Gara's interview.
Which we'll talk about too, because that's interesting as
Okay.
well, where you guys broke
Yeah.
off.
And what happened with that, with the whole stolen valor video that he put out, and he trashed the military. He got a lot of flack, and I said to him, I was like, you already got you're going after the LBGT community, so you got the left on your ass already. Okay, so you already lost half of the people that would even go to your channel. Stupid move, right? For anybody trying to promote people
It's not affecting his channel though.
to come watch their videos. But okay.
Yeah, going
was
into
like,
going
yeah.
into politics on a tech channel
Oh,
is
right.
not good. Trust me, I know.
No. Yeah. You've seen that firsthand. So then he attacks the right, and I'm like, are you shitting me, dude? Now you're attacking
I
everybody.
don't think the right's gonna care too much.
Left side, right side. Do you think you're gonna have anybody except the extreme fringe? I was like, you need to.
See, people have to understand that the left and the right, the wings, they're the minority. They don't matter. They don't matter. They never mattered. LGBT stuff that don't matter. The veteran stuff don't matter. It's this big portion in between that looks at the two sides and decides which one is the least fringe. Which one makes the most sense? They pick the common sense stuff from it. It's this that matters. And Quantum's channel is not affected whatsoever. As much as so.
And it really offended me, being a veteran of 9/11. I was like, are
Sorry, veterans. It's a minor thing in terms of population.
you kidding me?
It's not a minor thing in terms of like the values of it. When you look at it, like my family, I have plenty of veterans. I got admirals in my family. I got Chief Warrants. My grandfather served World War I, World War II. He had 2 stars. That's not a minor thing in itself, but in terms of politics, that is on the right side. That is it's a smaller population compared to the middle. Not all publicity is good publicity. Well, you remember Trump's controversy creates cash. Well, here's the thing. It's like, it hasn't affected him, though. That's the thing. How could anyone affect Quantum TV? You don't publicize him. You don't talk about him. You don't give his channel. You don't give his videos, airtime. You don't talk about him at all. You just let him flatline. But these content creators see an opportunity to get views themselves, to promote themselves, and to colonize and go after this one target, Quantum. If he was left alone, he would have stagnated. It would took him much longer. He would not be making twice his income in 1 year, probably. Just let him die off. He probably wouldn't have died off, but he would have been stagnant. Probably would have been stagnant. No one would be watching him as much because all he did was TVs. The dude's got in his most 10K views on TVs. Dude. Tectone gets an average, when he does Genshin videos, he's getting 30, 50K on a game. He could just be saying one bad thing about Genshin Impact Tectone. He's going to get 30K in just a matter of, maybe a day or maybe a couple hours even. I mean, they could have just left Quantum alone. The thing that I don't like is that Quantum still got away. The only good thing that came from it is he's not able to copy strike people as much. That's the only good thing that came from it. But he's making more money, so everyone's pretty much bought him a house. Dude, man, almost 50K in 1 year. Half of that was
you
just
can't say
1
this,
year.
You need to get rid of it. You need to clarify it, which at a
Or I
bare
mean, it's
minimum.
twice over
But
his year prior. What the hell? And that's just his
you need
YouTube.
to get rid of it. And
What
I
is?
think
What
he
are his
got
advertisers and stuff paying him? Jesus, holy
so
crap! The
much
dude's
flack
rich.
after I came out against him, and we split over that. That I think he got
68K views in 1 month.
even extra flack now from not just the left and everybody else that hated him as well, but even some of the right or crazies that he had on his side were like, "Oh, yeah, he's attacking the
Like
military."
Quantum TV is so small. He's like this tiny. He's like very tiny. He really is very tiny. It's very interesting comparing him with I mean, Genshin content creators, like, they squash him and his
It's not cool.
TVs.
So I think he had so much
They
attack on that
squash
he probably
him.
deleted the controversial truth channel. And then with the whole Discord getting deleted, what actually happened behind the scenes on that was I had Gara, so I started my own Discord channel, which I can get into with you, anonymous AV advice. And so me and Gara were chatting in there, and he told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I asked him just straight up. I was like, so
What are you
why did
texting?
or who did you have coming in and out getting screenshots? I'm just curious, now that I'm out of it, who was getting all the information? Was because in the community with the moderators, we were like, Quantum was saying, "Oh, we got a rat." He even accused me of being the rat after I left, which I wasn't. But I asked Gara publicly. I was like, "Hey, so who was actually getting these screenshots? Was it a regular member, or was it an inside moderator?" And Gara dropped a huge deal. He's like, "It was a mod." I had no clue. This whole time we had thought we'd figured out
Shit.
it was a regular member. There was an actual mod. So I was like, okay, sweet. So he said this all publicly, right? I took a screenshot of that. I sent it to the one guy that's kind of at the very end, was still sticking around Quantum at the very end. And his name was he went by Handicart Mexican, and then he wound up changing it later, the Handicap Mexican. But so that guy. So I have his cell phone number, so I shot him a text with the screenshot, and they said, "Oh, look what Gara just
Like Quantum TV, you got a huge loyalty problem. You should probably fix that.
admitted." If you guys think it was that I'm the rat, you guys
You should
still have a
definitely fix
problem.
that.
And within the next
Like, don't
day,
trust anyone. Like, dude, don't ever trust anyone.
he deleted. He obviously sent it over to Quantum, and Quantum saw that. And the next day, in the middle of the night, he deleted his Discord.
Gee, what a
That's sad to hear. That's sad to hear.
shocker.
Yeah.
Now,
Though he probably had to, because it was probably just full of, well, as he said, rats. So you gotta start all over. You can't figure out how many, rats there are. Excuse me. At a certain point, it just becomes, the niche thing to do. Just goodbye Discord and start all over again. So he probably did what made the most sense to do once it got to a certain point of of toxic, in terms of, like, it's just an environment that's just snitching. Well, snitching on him, trying to get information on him. So whistleblowers or you could say whistleblowers, snitches, whistleblowers, rats, whichever. Whistleblowers would probably be the most positive term, but
this shows a lot.
It was by no means a corporation thing.
Quantum. I heard you mention this during Gara's interview. Has Quantum ever admitted fault to anything, including when he was talking about the whole issue with the military? When you had a talk with him, has he ever apologized for anything, like, ever?
I can't remember a time he's ever apologized. I mean,
it's so weird.
No, he.
I mean it. Yeah.
He is a very, talking with some other members, it's like, I mean, the definition, you look up the definition of narcissist.
Yeah, I figured he was going to say that.
And I hate to be cruel to anybody. I'm not that type of a person, but God, he does fit that definition to a T. So anything that happens was not his fault. Essentially, is that's kind of his viewpoint. Is it's everybody else's fault, or they didn't understand me, or something therein. But no, he does not apologize. He never apologizes for any of the, the stuff he said in the LGBT community. And it was Minxie, I think, that I was listening to, and she said something interesting because I was calling Actman and him two peas in a pod at one point. Yeah, that's a stretch, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
But what she said was, you call them two peas in a pod. I don't agree with that. I was like, yeah, what I meant by that was that they both said stuff in their past. Well, Quantum still says it, but they both said stuff. But Actman actually owned up to it, and he did apologize to it.
And as far as I know, he hasn't done it since. And that's where
apologizing, it really depends on what he said. And you also have to, there's a certain point to where you have to believe in yourself. So apologizing is not always the right answer to do. It really depends. If you have a friend that is part of that community and you love that friend and their feelings were hurt, then apologize. If it's a community that you don't know and they're offended, whose right is it to apologize for a person to believe what they did? If you don't know the community, there's nothing to be sorry about. If you know someone within the community, then there's something probably to be sorry about. And there's no reason for a community to take offense to someone saying something that they don't even know. And that person doesn't even know. It becomes political nonsense. That's what it becomes. Never ask someone to apologize for something that they said about someone they probably didn't even know. It don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense whatsoever. It's just politics. That's all it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
then now, whether he's a narcissist or not, just don't be his friend. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to Quantum TV. Don't be his friend. If he's going to be narcissistic, just don't be around that person. And for hell, geez, definitely don't freaking make them more money.
We're trying to find more stuff on him as a group.
My God.
To try to help Quantum out when we were in his
Quantum's fucking rich now.
Any more stuff, right? You're correct on that.
Oh my God.
I said to Quantum, I was like, why don't you just say you're sorry? You could soft pedal your apology, word it however you like, but you need to disavow it.
I guess I could be fun because I have my own Discord, and there's a guy that helped me set it up. I mean, I made it. This is gonna sound so familiar. Made it. I made it. But a guy was nice enough to kind of organize it for me and everything. But the rules. There's no discrimination on this stuff. So anything that Quantum may or may not have said, that's not something that my Discord is attributed to. So, you may not even get a second chance. So you could literally just say one thing. And I'm a conservative, but if you go radical, left or right, you're probably going to get banned. It goes against my human nature to do that, but I understand begrudgingly that there is a majority of people that think differently than I do. Like for me, anything goes. You could call me a son of a bitch. You could call me every name. You could call me a Satanist if you want. I don't really give a shit. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am. And what I am has nothing to do with anyone else. How the fuck is anyone supposed to know I'm a Satanist? That'd be just like an example. How the hell are you supposed to know that? But I wouldn't really give a shit because I know what's true for me. I know what I believe. So anything goes in my court. But that's not the way it works for the majority of people, specifically in this country. A lot of people get offended about things that they take personal. A lot of FI users especially, SI users even. It is what it is. But my Discord is against my nature, which is probably for the best in that regard. So people do get banned. You say something offensive, you're going to be bye-bye. Probably the first time. Most likely the first time.
What
But
you
yeah,
said,
Discord. So people are welcome to join my Discord.
or even if you want to pretend you didn't say it, say, well, okay, I didn't say it,
Just ask
but
me
I
for the link.
disavow what was said. Why can't you say that?
He actually did say that once, which to me was still a weak sauce bullshit thing. But I think he did say that a couple times. But it was weird because when he even did the soft disavowing, it was still like he tried to twist it into something where it just that.
It was actually kind of funny. The guy that helped me set up the Discord, I was telling him all my morbid humor, and he was like, "You can't say that stuff." My name's Daniel. You can't say that, Daniel. You can't say that. I was like, okay. I have the most morbid sense of humor. And if people are telling me that I should probably not say that for a mass audience, then okay, fine. Fine. Why must my human nature be restricted? Why? I'll never
Didn't
know.
even sound genuine.
I
at all.
make sacrifices for the broader audiences out there, for just people in general that might take offense to humor designed to be satirical and comical in nature, but is so morbid and come across so serious that people take literal. So anyway,
You know, he did that.
I just
in a-
can't be me. So sad.
in a video that probably is deleted now.
Well, yeah, he did a soft little backpedal, but he didn't actually say the words disavow and the things that people want to hear. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
So you know, I asked him to do those things, and he wouldn't even be the try to pretend to be the better man. And I was like, I'm sitting back and thinking, because you know,
I just keep on thinking this dude is now making more money. I just keep on sitting back and thinking to myself, everyone has made him more money. And I just can't, and that makes me sick.
I've had a lot of years. I'm roughly your age, Rich. We're pretty close in age.
Okay.
And so I've dabbled in some politics myself, and I've seen that world. It's not pretty. No matter what side you're on, they're all full of shit. However,
My man, we agree on that.
you do learn some.
And he does seem, this moderator, he does seem pretty chill for the most part. He seems like an in-between guy, so he doesn't seem like a crazy left or righter.
Learn how to help with messaging, and I tried to help him with certain things to help his image, but he's so narcissistic. He's like, nope, if they don't get it, then f them. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. You're either with him or you're against him, and he doesn't care if everybody's against him but one person.
Now,
so it's a real strange thing.
The waters with this got kind of.
I mean, everyone's now targeting him, which is a consequences of some of his decisions to get, you know, certain content creators banned, the channels taken down. So it's all brought on himself at the end of the day. But he could always make amends. This is a grand circle
Murky.
of just circle of madness. It's all come around. It's not just him though. I guess it's everywhere.
Did he actually? It seems like people are saying it's confirmed again. Did he actually ban Evade before, or like?
Was it Evade?
You know, I kind of backed down on that because the information went all over the place. Is he ban evading?
The way I understand it is he actually, with that YouTube channel in question, he actually privated the channel. So I'm sure you know you can private a channel and not make it public, and when you do that, everybody thinks, well, it's not there. So they think, you know, Rich deleted his channel, you know, if you just put it to private. So his claim was, that was one of the few things he actually did respond on. And he said, he told us on the inside, but this is the thing, he only told us on the inside. He didn't tell everybody.
Would putting my channel in private help me evade Russia. Every time I bring up or have some type of video of Philomena Konkon, would private allow Russians to somehow still see my videos? By the way, to all Russians that somehow see this, VPN, watch my videos. Thank you.
else. He was letting everybody else just run wild with it, and I think the reason he did that is he really thrives. He really gets off on people talking about him. You know, I mean, part of the narcissistic, outlook, and so he told us privately.
Yeah, we've seen how he, the messages that he gives back to people he disagrees with.
That he actually made
Definitely
a
combative.
private channel, and then he renamed it. If I remember correctly, he renamed it to Next Gen Gamers, and it came out publicly, and people found out through the addresses and the links and stuff, because the links don't change even if you change the name, right? So people notice, well, the links are the same between this channel that we thought was banned and this channel, which is up. So obviously, but he never shared, even with us. He never shared if he had got a warning or a strike or anything to that nature of what happened. The only thing he said to us is, "Oh, they don't know what they're talking about." I just put it to private. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. He kept saying. I mean, he just has this real negative outlook about everybody.
He always has to seem like he's one step ahead of everybody, you know. And on that
one step ahead of everyone. Is he an ENTJ? Is he an ENTJ?
channel? On that channel, Next Gen Game, like someone actually they clicked on where his comments, where he was commenting and like celebrating the Pulse nightclub on Next Gen Gamers. And someone in a video showed they're like, yes, it's definitely Quantum, because you click the link and there's videos of him reviewing stuff and talking.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that video is 100% correct. He did those things, and there's evidence, there's proof that proves it right there. So he said those things, and in back conversations between him and me back and forth privately, that's exactly how he thinks. Sadly,
like it's now. I mean, I don't know how much you've talked to him about. Like, was his upbringing like that? Like, does he come from like a super religious or right wing family? Was his parents like? I'm asking you questions he probably never talked to you about, but still, it just baffles me how someone could be so filled with hate.
Yeah, I didn't. The only thing I know is current. We never talked about his past and upbringing, stuff like that. We talked about what was current with, stuff I wouldn't.
I wish I could say he wasn't a hater, but I've seen the God of War Ragnarok review from so many different people's perspectives that it's hard not to understand that his dialogues don't change.
Obviously, ever reveal about
his tones don't really change.
Just private conversations about his family. He does have he seems to have a great wife and family, and
they're eating well. They're eating well.
Christian male, straight male, as
yeah.
You've said before in your show, but
excuse me.
Yeah, no, I don't really know how it all began. What it was that ever got under his skin, triggered him in the first place.
He could be ENTP.
No, and I tried to help him and at least steer him in the right direction, and he wasn't interested. I mean, and he really ran that whole Discord like a cult. In that, well, for one, he says he ran it in the first place, which is very untrue. He didn't run it. He visited his own Discord, but he didn't run it. So it was me and some other moderators, one of which I got permission to say their name.
I mean, any founder of Discord, like for me, for example, I oversee, things in Discord, but, I like to have people kind of, I like to give free range, and I like to see what people do. So I kind of let others, have their way with it to a certain extent while I'm overseeing. I'm not ever going to say that I'm literally like from the ground up running things. that would be inefficient anyway, let alone exhausting. Excuse me. I'd rather have people that find it fun to let them have fun with it, you know, and create a better, more positive environment in that as well.
I checked with everybody before.
He
I don't
paid,
just put stuff out on people like that.
oh,
But
paid for
one
his
guy did
branding
tell
and
me
Discord
he actually,
services.
when I started my
Oh, he hasn't mentioned that yet.
Discord, he came over to my Discord and left Quantums along with several others. I can't mention their names, but this guy Big Ben, a big tech guy, he helped originally helped me set up the whole Discord. So he did
Maybe
all
this
these
one
mods
drop
and cool
left.
things like that. But Quantum, he just came and visited. He'd come in the chats and stuff, and he'd come in and he would see what people were saying, and he would like talk down to them. And he really stifled a lot of the conversation. People did not.
Yeah, he sounds like a T. God, he really sounds like. God, I'm just keep on thinking TE, 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 TE all the way.
Feel comfortable if they had anything that didn't go in lockstep with what Quantum was saying. And if he really didn't like what you're saying, he would go straight in and he would block you, he would delete you, he would ban you, he would time you out. He would then go into the moderator channels, the private channel, and say to us, hey, if these guys are talking about me, get rid of them. I don't want them here. And, you know, one of the big things that happened is we got, you know, I was always promoting it. I was putting, he didn't even know how to send a link. I mean, I've got screenshots of how my Discord showing where he's asking me, hey, is this how you send the link to the Discord? So for him to say that he ran the Discord is a laugh. Everybody that was involved knows that Quantum was a visitor. So at one point he was asking us how to do all these things.
I'm definitely an overseeing visitor. I'm also sneaky. I kind of watch in the background. I kind of watch when people think that I'm not watching. They'll just never know I'm watching. Ever. I'm the kind of person that'll watch people if they do something I don't like. I'll kind of smirk. I'll be like, and I'll keep watching and wait for them to do it again.
And we were like,
and then I'll confront them about it. They probably won't be banned yet.
Come through it kind of like a child, step by step, how to do everything.
I'll just like talk to someone. I'll be like, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Don't do that. And then there'll be no more discussion about it. Or we can go into a more intimate conversation about why we believe what we believe, and then we get it that way, and then we meet an understanding, and it ends that way. It just depends. If I'm talking to a quantum type, it's like, just don't do it. If I'm talking with someone I know has a higher form of intelligence, then we're going to go into a more intimate dialogue about things, and we'll have a good understanding. We'll go through our points of views. We'll have an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour conversation if we have to, till we have an understanding, and then we'll have a respect. I prefer that one rather than, I hate having to say, just don't do that. I hate having to say that.
Listen to private chat. You know, if anything,
that means that means I don't believe that having an intimate conversation would change anything between me and the subject and the person. So I literally have to keep it to 1 or 2 words.
Do that, get rid of them. At one point, he decided when it was getting bad enough, we'd had over 1,200 members for me promoting it. Then he decided.
Holy shit.
Then he decided with all these leaks coming out that Garo and others were getting, he decided, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a bunch of people I don't think are here.
Dude, man, your mods are feeding information. You could have literally fed these mods false information. Literally, Quantum could have been feeding false information, and maybe I shouldn't say. Because again, sometimes I think things that most people don't think about, and they happen. These things happen. Like I put them in people hear me say these things, and all of a sudden they're happening. So maybe I shouldn't say.
Right reasons. So he deleted in one day. 1,085 out of like 1,200 plus members. I did the
Another way to put it is people find ways to manipulate my brilliant strategies.
math on that. He deleted 97% of
I
his
don't
own
want them.
Discord.
Holy and that's what, look, I know he's not.
Say that
These
again.
guys do that, get rid of them. At one point, he decided when it was getting bad enough, we'd had a
If someone is in my Discord talking shit about me, they'll probably have to get banned. But normally I wouldn't. But I wouldn't want to ban them because that if someone talks shit about me, I get a sparkle in my eye. I'm like, how special do I feel right now? Someone's taking their time, a moment of their time, a couple minutes of their time to trash me. I'm like, well, what you got to say about DTM today? Entertain me.
over 1,200
Oh, God.
for me per
Unfortunately, everyone else would want the person banned, so the person gets banned for the sake of the community. But for me personally, I don't care. I'm entertained by shit talkers that talk shit about me. Like, that's good. That's good stuff.
Then he decided,
But not Quantum. Not Quantum. Quantum is apparently a little bitch. TE has its negatives.
decided with all these leaks coming out that Gar and others were getting, he decided, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a bunch of people I don't think are here for the right reasons. So he deleted in one day 1,085 out of like 1,200 plus.
At the end of the day, he still deleted the Discord, is what they're saying. So what was the point? It didn't change anything. There's a little lack of foresight right there.
I did the math on that. He deleted 97% of his own Discord.
Holy.
How many of those people were had nothing to do with it? I bet. I'm curious.
And that's what, look, I know he's not, which the irony is he's not tech savvy, but the thing is that I don't know how to delete Twitter
Maybe
posts
it was an accidental click. Maybe he didn't mean to ban 97%.
and stuff
Maybe
like that.
he meant to ban 3%.
Bullshit, because he curates everything that's on his YouTube channel and other, well, whatever other social media platforms he has left. So that to me is a complete lie. Speaking of which, about Discord, I almost forgot to ask you this. So explain what got you quote unquote demoted in the Discord.
So, like I said, Quantum's a visitor. He'd check in from time to time. So I'm holding a public conversation with this other member, and he was asking me about frame rates. And so we were talking Xbox, PlayStation, and
Okay.
I'm not in either camp, so nobody.
PC
can know
man,
about that.
excellent.
So I showed a couple screenshots from I went and found a YouTube videos where they were doing frame rate comparisons, and I took a screenshot of that.
We're extremely
So I
paranoid.
came on and I shared it with this member. I was like, here you go. As you can see, this console does a little better on the frame rate than that. And it just so happened to be that it was the comparison was done on
Mister, are you a whistleblower?
Elden Ring. And I myself, I got out of gaming a couple years ago, just dealing more with family stuff, just trying to
Are you someone Quantum would really dislike?
trying to get my family going in the direction I want to with a big move.
Was Quantum trying to find you out of the 97%?
And good things happening in my life, so I kind of set that to the side.
Oh, Quantum.
And I said, so I posted this, and then Quantum comes on, and he immediately says, I forget the exact quote, but immediately starts saying, like, what the hell are you doing? I trust you. I told you no Elden Ring. And I'm like, hey, sorry, accident. I didn't realize. I've never played the game myself.
So let me hear that again.
Trying to get my family going in the direction I want to with a big move that we had and good things happening in my life. So I kind of, hey, sorry, accident.
Shit.
I didn't things happening in my life. So I got out of gaming a couple years ago, just dealing more with family stuff, just trying to get my family.
Oh, you never joined a server?
The direction I want to with a big move that we had and good things happening in my life. So I kind of set that to the side.
A fellow person with a keen eye. and things. Let us inspectors
And
unite.
I said, so I posted this, and then Quantum comes on, and he immediately says, I forget the exact quote, but immediately starts saying, like, what the hell are you doing? I trust you. I told you no Elden Ring. And I'm like, hey, sorry. An accident. I didn't realize. I've never played the game myself. And
Who cares
so,
anyway?
yeah,
Who
no,
cares?
exactly. But if you got like, I mean,
He may
you
have
got
done
your-
it on purpose.
You know, you got
Anonymous may have done it on purpose. He said he never played the game, but that doesn't mean... Well, obviously he knew not to put it up, so he probably did it on purpose.
one of your top, most trusted moderators. If he screws up,
There's a good chance he probably did it on purpose.
number one, do you chastise him publicly?
Yeah,
You know
like
what I
they're
mean?
your kid. Like they're your kid.
Well, you're supposed to kind of do that in private if you have any leadership qualities at all.
I'm like, you know that everybody that doesn't like you is already in your Discord looking at everything. So now you want to do that. And so I texted him on his phone. I was like, why the fuck are you doing this in the public? We need to talk about this. So we wound up chatting, and he immediately started with, well, I'm going to demote you to moderator. So once we started talking privately, I said, okay, well, number one, it was an accident. So sorry about that, even though it's crazy. But I tell you what, if you're going to continue to act like this, I don't have time for this shit. So you either put me back to where I was or I'm leaving. So he then apologized to me and says, oh, yeah, I overreacted. In fact, when you were saying earlier, has he ever apologized? That's the only time I could remember him ever apologizing.
So he must have known he was really wrong for him to do that.
Yeah, but he only did it privately, you know? And so he put me back to admin. But the damage had already been done. So even though he put me back to being admin, I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I know I'm on my way out. I've got to get out of this. This guy is just not right in the head, obviously. I mean, all you guys have been saying that, but wow. I was like, if you're going to do this to the guy you trust the most, then there's no end. So it was, I think it was that day was a day that...
Well, he obviously didn't
you know
trust
what?
you.
I needed to have my own Discord. So that's when I started an anonymous AV advice. I was like, I got to have something separate from this. And I'm glad I did, because it was about a month or so later that he deleted his Discord.
Because he's trying to sweep everything under the rug. I had a feeling that because you were coming on here may have been part of the reason that he did that too.
Well, no, he's probably trying to stop the leaks.
He knows that people are going to want to snoop around.
Apologies, impossible.
Yeah, that's right.
Who knew he could rise above
that would be right in that timeline.
his hate?
Because I had told you it'd be about a week before I had my next day off. So, and hell, I mean, to bring up something else, you know, a lot has happened in this week between me getting to talk to you and obviously the Hurricane Ian happened. So I saw
We'll
you
nickname
do
it
some
Hurricane
shows.
Quantum.
I didn't get a chance to do it to watch him, but man, everybody needs to get out there and there's all sorts of volunteer programs and donations you can make through Red Cross and FEMA and the state of Florida. So my parents personally were at Ground Zero. It came in right in the Fort Myers, which is right next to Cape Coral.
Dude, this guy's running for office. Nah, dude.
Parents live in Cape Coral. They told me they lost half of the shingles on the roof. The fence is gone. The cage over their pool. You know, this is their retirement home. You know, and it just complete devastation. They just it took them 3 days to even get cell phone service.
Quantrina. Oh no, Quantrina. Good one.
Towers on the back of trailers and shit. And so it took me 3 days before I even find out my
Oh,
parents were alive.
no.
So I know there's a lot of friends, a lot of family members that people have of these people. So man, it's been incredible to see the love and support. So just keep it up, guys.
Yeah, it's amazing what's going on there, and I kind of was not yelling.
Am I watching CNN?
But telling people, they were like, "Oh, Quantum's down there hoping that he's." I'm like, "No, don't hope that anyone. Look, I don't wish ill will on anyone, including Quantum. Even though he said he wishes that I would have a horrible death. Yes, he's literally said anyone who's talked bad about a Quantum, he said in the Discord, they wish that they would die a horrible death.
No, no, no. He wouldn't say that. That's not the
Like-
quantum I know.
Like, I was just like, dude. Now, I got a $1 million question for you, and I'm glad to hear that your parents are okay down there, first and foremost. But it kind of goes back to Elden Ring. Did Quantum even ever play that goddamn game?
He never directly told me or anybody in the moderation chat.
So that means he
He
did.
never actually told us that he did. And I saw somebody's video. They were like, he probably played it one
It was probably too hard for him.
time, got his ass kicked, and was like, "I'm out of here. I'm gonna do a review." And I think that sounds about right. So I don't know if he actually did have it, but if he did have it, he played it for a day. He got frustrated.
Pedophilia
and
claims.
put out
Ooh.
his amazing hot take that went over so well.
Ooh.
Now,
Ooh.
because the thing with he held against me,
I get the feeling that Quantum would not want to have a one-on-one conversation with me.
would you mind if Chris the Narc came on?
But Quantum, if you're out there, we could have a one-on-one. Just saying. We could promote one of your TVs. I'll promote a TV. Samsung, if you're listening, hey, come on this face, man. Totally worth it.
I won't keep you too much longer. I know you have other shit to do.
And as far as Quantum is concerned, dude, Osmond Gold is bald too.
That'd be fine. No,
Yo,
I got about another half hour I could stay with you.
All right, cool. That's
I got another half hour I can stay with you and talk more stuff and give me more publicity, and I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to run for office, and yeah.
Chris,
Excuse
you
me.
want to come on? Can't come on, just in chat. Okay. He has a question for you. Annan, why did
He's a chill moderator, though.
you defend him when the management firm situation came out and went in my comments about it? I guess it's how he found Ackman's information, because he went to his talent agency or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. There's a public a forum that is it's a talent.
Trying to inviting him for a debate.
It's an agent to.
I don't know about Sendu, but I'd keep it pretty chill with Quantum. The most important part about me wanting to interview him would be the simple fact that I'm just getting a idea of his personality. I want to be able to see if he's like an ENTJ. I want to see if he's a TE DOM user. I want to have fun with it.
Help
I also want to compare our TVs too. And I also want to show him my 2 PCs set up and ask him, should I add 2 more?
and people.
I'm thinking 4 PCs, maybe 8 screens. Maybe some 480 Ti's in each of them, because I don't want a 4090, because I don't want to blow up my house.
And
Like, Quantum, what do you think about that, baby?
But what was his question about that?
His question was, let me find, Annan,
Topic about some unrealistic satirical nonsense.
did you
I'm like, hey, Quantum, you want to compete any day now?
him when the management firm situation came out and went in my comments about it?
What I was saying on that was, so Ackman has publicly stated his first name. I'm not going to say it, but his whole community, a lot of people know his first and last name. He's publicly stated it. And what we were doing was saying, hey, because this all revolves around him getting the phone number to call his mom, of which he posted that one-sided call that he had with recorded with a security camera in his house that he posted. And so we were pointing out that it was public information. But I guess the greater question would be, what he's asking me is, why did I defend that? I was wrong to. So
okay, that takes a lot to do that. Okay.
So honestly, I look back in a lot of things.
Is anyone else, like, for the last 36 minutes of watching this video, all I can think about is his big cock? Am I the only one thinking about that?
Especially over the last month, being on my.
That is a fucking big cock.
own thing, and I look a lot of things in retrospect, and I can absolutely say that I was in the wrong to
And what's in that cup over there?
support him as long as I did, you know? So,
Yeah, I've been in situations, or I get it, man, where you get out of this situation and you see things clearer, where you saw things from a different light beforehand, and then it's like you go back and think about it even like a week later when you snapped out of it, and it's like, oh wow, like what was I doing, you know?
yeah.
Speaking
No,
of which,
it shouldn't have happened. I mean, that whole phone call situation that everybody's had so many questions. Well, why did he call his mom? What he told me
Called
behind
his
the scenes
mom.
was what happened was he was originally trying to get a hold of Ackman, and he couldn't get his number by doing searches on the web trying to get private information like that, right? You know, phone numbers and such. He couldn't find his number, but he found another number address that he had reason to believe that he was at this address. And I don't know how true this is, but the word I heard was he was staying with his parents for some reason. I don't know. So the phone number that he got was to the household, and that was his mom's household. She picked up. So he told us behind the scenes, oh, that was an accident. But obviously,
an accident.
well, in that he called that number looking for Ackman to talk to him, and he said it was an accident. I didn't know that his mom, was going to pick up, or I didn't know she was there. And I was like, well, okay, well, why didn't you just make a short like, hey, I'm just trying to get a hold of Ackman, goodbye? Like, you had a whole conversation with her. Like,
Or
this is
why
a
didn't
conversation.
Ackman tried to talk to him on Discord. Why didn't he contact him on Discord, voice to voice, or even just DMs on Discord?
So,
Why did?
yep. So I remember that day. So he came into the Discord, and it was Ackman, and it was somebody else. I want to say maybe it was even Gara at the time. Heck, but either way, so Ackman came into the Discord. I told everybody in the admin chat, do not ban this guy, because we had a few people who were pretty trigger happy, like Candy Cart, that would love to be on Quantum's
Was Gara part of his Discord at all, or?
Tales all the time, and we're like, don't ban him. We want to hear what he has to say. And so he started in the public comments calling Quantum out. Hey, let's talk. Ultimately, Quantum said, well, let's go to private messages. In the private messages,
Oh boy.
Ackman said, hey, let's do an audio chat back and forth, because this whole texting thing, let's just do the audio. It's going to be a lot clearer, more concise, and everything. And Quantum said that, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't know if he didn't want to do it because he didn't want Ackman to make a video with the audio. I'm not sure why, but he wanted it in text form. And Ackman at the time was, if the way I understand, he was saying, well, I don't want to do that. You could either chat with me on here or whatever. And Quantum said, well, I'm not going to talk with you then. And so he wound up leaving right after that. And then after he left, after the conversation had ended, Quantum came on to the admin, or to the moderator private chat with us, and said, yeah, go ahead and delete him, or ban him. I don't want him coming back.
Because he did. I have invited Quantum on here. I said I would disable the chat. I wouldn't have anyone. I was like, dude, if you want to explain your side and explain and make sense of the nonsensical of how a bunch of ninjas put up terrible, hateful things on your Twitter that you conveniently didn't delete, I'll let you. It wouldn't even be a debate. I would just be like, hey, I would ask a question, give an answer. Never heard from him once.
Well,
never heard.
The whole reason Quantum would never go on a show like yours is simply because he wouldn't have control over the situation, over the narrative. So unless he's in control on his own terms, I mean,
interesting.
As long as I've known him over the year and a half I've known him, when a lot of this controversy started bubbling up, about probably 6 months after that, he didn't even have me on his show. He wants to be the sole focus of everything. He doesn't like sharing the spotlight, and a lot of times, that's why I think, when I came out, when everything happened, and I went on an interview with Gar, that's why I came out and said, hey, I actually came up with Beyond Reference. I actually was, basically the founding member holding everything together in the Discord. and he came up with a video. I think it was on the Controversial Truth channel, now deleted, and he says, "Oh, no, he didn't invent my branding. The number one brand in honesty. He didn't come up with that." Well, dude, you're doing a freaking bait and switch. You're doing a straw man argument. We weren't talking about that. We were talking about beyond reference that I came up with. And I even took screenshots of the text messages and I shared them with my Discord to show everybody, to get the word out, that I have proof of me pitching the idea of, hey, you should do this. And he says, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. And something I put on my Discord right before I came on with you about an hour ago, I just released a bombshell. I actually, something that no moderators even knew. Nobody has ever even heard. He actually, during this time, paid me to help him when I helped him with his branding and running his Discord. He made 3 separate payments to me, and that has never been released till today.
And he takes the credit for that. Like he
takes all the credit. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh man.
So
that's unbelievable. What does he like when he goes and attacks other AV YouTubers? Has he ever tried to justify that to you? Like and he goes after people that are
You could probably make a case.
Totally
but I don't know.
drama free. Like, has he ever explained why I know why he does it. I don't need an answer, but has he ever tried to explain it in a lunatic's terms?
I like how you said that.
Yeah.
So, like with
Lunatic's
Magician, him and Magician had a big back and forth, and I've got to talk with him personally now after the fact, and Magician's he's a good guy, but Magician didn't put up with a lot of his shit. So, as you know, Quantum, well, for one, he calls himself a master calibrator. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a master calibrator. It's him basically giving the finger to actual calibrators that know the difference. So it's kind of sticking the finger in their face.
It's also trying to puff himself up too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, Magician would he'd be one of the few that would just come after him, and just the same way Quantum would come after everybody else. So Magician, a lot of people didn't want to get involved, but Magician was like, screw this guy. He's an idiot. So he would come out and he would counter a lot of what Quantum was putting out there in the technical realm of video calibrations and stuff, and to the point of what is a video, what is a calibrator, what is this thing? And in case everybody doesn't know, a calibrator's somebody that comes to your house. They got to bring special equipment to your TV. They've got to get a meter. They've got to do color and white balance, and they've got to dial in your specific TV, because even though you might have the exact same TV, me and Rich might have the same
LG,
TV,
yeah,
but in a sense they are kind of like snowflakes. They're all a little bit different. They do like a moderate somewhat calibration from the factory, so they're kind of in the same ballpark, but they have slight differences. And so so he'll come in, a guy like Ninjishin or Classy, and they'll do a calibration in your house for you, specifically for your TV. Now TVs are general. Like I said, they do kind of do these pre-calibrations on them to get them, they rough them in. So what Quantum basically does is he takes one of the normal off-the-shelf models, and he does have some gear, but it's not the quality of gear that Ninjishin and the like have. Those guys are rocking multi-$1,000 meters, and I think Ninjishin was saying like he using God, it was really expensive. It was crazy.
Wasn't it like
20,000
or some shit like that? Or I know it was like a 5-figure.
I mean, it's the price of a car, I mean, honestly. So the meters, the stuff that Quantum is using for tools to do calibration it's a kind of an amateur set of tools, essentially, is what it is. It's a set of tools you can buy that you get off Amazon for like $100 to $200.
Oh,
They're pretty cheap. You know, it's a beginner's kit essentially, and so he does that. And obviously, for the cheaper models, they're not going to get nearly as precise as a higher end one. But so he'll do that and get a rough kind of calibration to his TV, and then from there, he also does. He doesn't. Well, for one, he doesn't do a calibration. So a calibration would be you put everything to where the reference standard is. So all movies have a reference standard in the industry. It's kind of like having a baseline. If you don't have a good foundation on stuff, your reds might be skewed or something. I mean, so so he pumps up things. He'll pump up the color and the saturation and luminance and a bunch of other things to get the kick. So it's an interesting argument. There's a lot of purists that only go by reference calibration, and there's some people, and myself included, I liked having a little bit more pop to it. It is not by any means. It is not reference, because what quantum does is called beyond reference. That's the term I helped him dub to try to make him actually seem like a professional by putting the word reference in there and beyond, because it's not reference. Quit saying that you're doing calibrations and reference, because you're not. So, in a kind of weird about sort of honest loophole, I said beyond reference fits better what you're doing. Stop telling people you're a master TV calibrator. You're not.
Because you're not, and you're not doing reference. So, but
No,
that,
he's not.
yeah. So
You know?
what about like people? There's two. Kristen Ark brought up another one too. I almost forgot about this. But what about like digital trends? Like I know Ninjishin, but like all those other channels that just completely don't even.
Speaking of
acknowledge
that,
him.
Chris,
Does he go after this? Has he explained why he went after them? Is it insecurity? I know it is, but has he tried to give his own excuse?
Well, like I said, because he doesn't do reference, and the industry at large, even the people that don't actually come out and take note of him and say stuff about him. Everybody else in the industry, when you look up, anything about TVs and calibration or anything in that realm, reviewers, they all go off of the reference standard. And so essentially it's 99% of the reviewers and calibrators out there, they all do it one way, the reference way. And so he's the 1% out there. And so he sees everybody as an enemy. So everybody to him is equal opportunity. And especially if you have the gall to actually say anything to him like Ninjishin, then he makes it his life's mission to try to trash him. And he's went as far as there's been doxing and other nasty things that have happened. Obviously, people have seen it to an extent with Ackman calling his mom. So that's not right. That's just messed up.
And speaking of doxing, Chris actually asked another interesting question here, which good thing because I forgot. Rich, can you ask Anonymous? Did you know about the bot calls to Ninjishin? Like, because it almost definitely had to have been him, because when he got a call from like the authorities, Quantum got a call. The bot call stopped. Do you know anything about that?
I know that. So that happened. It was either at the very, very beginning, or I think it might have happened even before I had met him. But I had saw the replies and stuff that Ninjishin had put out there, how he was getting all those bot calls, like you were saying, and he'd already had previous conversations with Quantum, and they both had each other's numbers. So obviously Quantum was in a position to be able to send these calls over to his number. He had his freaking number, and so Ninjishin had texted him back, said, "Hey, I'm getting all these calls. You know anything about it?" And Quantum's like, "Oh no, I have no clue. What the hell? Oh, it's happening to me now too." Whatever. But he never showed any proof of that. I know we discussed it after the fact when it got brought back up in the conversation again, and So he said to us that basically he had no involvement. He's innocent, is the way he puts it. No, he didn't do any of that.
And he always
like
makes
said,
it like
when Ninjishin called the FBI, and then he said to Quantum, "Hey, I called the FBI. It's out of my hands. I hope you didn't have any part of this, because shit's gonna go down." All of a sudden, the calls immediately stopped, and that was a private conversation. It wasn't done in the public. So if it was a third party doing it, they were like, "Oh shit, I better stop." So obviously, either was the one doing it, or he was directly involved in helping or having one of his people do it for him. I would imagine.
Man, unbelievable with this guy. Well, Anonymous, I know you have what do you work,
Quantum's a
like
piece
80
of work.
hours a week you were telling me or something like that?
Yeah, I don't do it every week, but once a month I'll do a 90-hour work week where I work a bunch of I do like 14-hour shifts 7 days in a row. So
Bless you. That's a hell. I've been there and I've done it before, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on. And
You've been
thank you
there
for
before.
putting
You've
out there
done
what we
7
already kinda
14-hour
knew about
shifts.
Quantum.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, if any of you guys want to get any information for me, you have my contact info. You could reach out to me, and for anybody else listening,
Okay. Okay.
you guys could we'll give you a link to the Discord if you're interested. And
Yeah, give
it's,
me send me your link to the Discord via text, and I'll put it in here, and I'll
Okay.
also put it on Twitter too as well.
Yeah, no, everybody's welcome. My only rule is respect. That's it. That's
Awesome. And also, man, thank you for your service too. Enjoy the rest of the day with your family, and I really appreciate you coming on.
All right, appreciate it. Yep, take care, man. Bye.
Thank you.
Interesting. All right. If you're still around, mister. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream. I got to get ready for my Twitch stream in about, well, close to an hour or so. But thanks for watching, dude. And everyone else that watches this, you know, I stream on Twitch every evening. All that wonderful stuff every night and/or. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll continue to try to do YouTube. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, so on and so on. Those are my only days off. I work all my other days. And then literally, I shower, eat, and then I stream on Twitch on all my work days after I get off of work. Way on into the morning. And then get maybe 5-6 hours of sleep. Go back to work. All that wonderful stuff. So, mister, I'll see you around. And for everyone else watching this, I'll see you guys around too as well. So, all have a good one. Stay tuned for more DTM.